Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SportsGamer, and more specifically, welcome back to the wraparound as we return here for yet another season of our ECL recap show. Brought to you, of course, by our lovely friends at Kovalon Lokritsi. We started up this show last year as a way to take a look back through all of the events throughout the ECL, of course, not just the Elite Division, and we are back again, yet again, for another lovely season. Is it worth reiterating? It is worth reiterating. So with that, we are going to get down to business here on this show. A lot to cover. First and foremost, though, before we get to the individual league breakdowns, it is worth reminding you all, of course, that right now, at least for the Finns that are checking this out, that are on the PS5 side of things, the PlayStation Showdown registrations are up and available. It's live. Make sure to get involved, both a 1v1 and 4v4 format with this particular tournament. So again, make sure to get involved. Articles here. Go ahead, check out the information and get involved. Let's take a look at the ECL Elite Division. The peak, the pinnacle within the ECL, the best of the best, going head to head in this winter campaign. And so far, shout out to Yippee Voskala leading the way. Now, we are going to go off of points percentage because, of course, it matters now perhaps more than ever with the new point system. 3 points for a regulation win, 2 for an overtime win, 1 for an overtime loss, and, of course, no points for a regulation loss. Hence, we are seeing a 2.36 points per game tally for Yip, already halfway, just about, through their season with 14 of 30 games played and a fantastic 10-1-1 record. They have been beyond stellar, and we'll talk more about them in detail in a moment. But of course, you also need to talk about strikers up there, Mayhems as well. They did really well last season, 5-2-2 through their first 10 games, and Tunnel Vision, the only other team right now over that kind of mythical mark of at least 2 points per game. Rounding out those playoff positions, you have hREDS, the Blackjacks, Goons, and Hamo. Obviously still a long way to go in this season, but there are quite a few teams here that I think that some people would have been surprised to see. You know, the Blackjacks have been kind of kicking around in the Elite Division for a long time, but are they good enough to get back into the playoffs? They certainly think so, and so far so good. Goons underwent a lot of changes this offseason. Kriketsi departing the team, perhaps the biggest change. Hamo there as well, a tremendous, tremendous accomplishment that we've seen from them in the past couple of seasons, but obviously now looking to get back into the playoffs. You have the 4 teams that are currently safe from any sort of relegation battle with Unwanted. Polski boys, the Pro Division champions from last season. Vesapampa and the Fallon Coal Miners. And then you get down into those rough spots, the relegation series spots, Roots Gaming, Lekstugan HC, and Radical. And then down at the very bottom, if the season were to end right now, it would be Poggers going down to the Pro Division, a team themselves included who thought they would end up being in this spot. I don't know if they would have predicted 1 and 1. How many losses do you have, fellas? There we go. That's why, because I'm still getting used to that new format. Let's be honest. Let's keep it there. The 1 and 8, because yeah, you got your overtime. Yeah, so fun stuff there. Not much fun that Poggers are having right now, though, to say the least. With that said, though, I did want to kind of take a look at Yippee Voskala and what they have been able to do so far, being in first place. They saw a huge departure from their lineup with Antti leaving the team, but you talk about Tonkelia stepping in, who has been fantastic, 23 points in 14 games. And in general, look at the all-around scoring that has been there. Even Carcass, as a defenseman, though, 10 points in 14 games is fantastic. So the offense has been exactly as you would want it to be, and the goaltending as well. We have seen great performances from Kazu in the past, and so far he is looking like the goalie that a lot of people thought he could be, playing up towards his full potential. 87% on the draw so far this season. So again, a long way to go in the Elite. Yippee Voskala leading the way right now. Some teams that need to turn things around. And quickly, why not, a brief look at the numbers. We talked about strikers and the offensive output. Well, it's led by Eki, 37 points right now, leading the league. One of just 4 players over the 30-point mark on the season so far. That includes his teammate Potslov, and then, of course, Filipoika and Benito, a dynamic duo, to say the least. On hREDS, your leading goal scorers, well, it's Eki and JM of Polski boys. Of course, someone who had Elite Division experience in the past is back in the Elite Division with those pro champions, and what an acquisition that is proving to be. Keep an eye out at the end of the season. Could very well go down as the top transfer. But for now, you got to look at the Elite Division. And again, a lot to follow as we continue on. Let's take a look at the ECL's Pro Division. So far this season, of course, it is the two groups in Pro, the direct pipeline, perhaps, to the Elite Division. We'll take a look at Group 1 first, sorting by points percentage. It is Gotham Knights leading the way, a club with quite a bit of elite experience within their midst. You got Karani, Rimpe, Ilmari as well. Goaltending-wise, you look at these numbers and you say, okay, is Disco Kraken going to kind of be the guy at the top of the list for them as the season goes on with the, rather inferior save percentage, if we're putting it as kindly as we can. But what stands out to me, the lack of saves, the lack of goals against, not due to like their performance in general, but just Gotham Knights playing pretty good defense is kind of what that says to me at this stage of the season. You're probably not seeing all that many opportunities per game. It can be difficult to stop pucks when you're not getting all that many shots against. So Gotham Knights have done very, very well at the start of this season, leading the way in group number 1. And of course, you have some of the more usual suspects, I would say. The Hervlev Eagles have been kicking around for a while. They still find themselves in a very, very good spot. You talk about the teams right now that would be safe, including Deadly Phantoms, a team with previous Elite Division experience. Of course, they've been out of the Elite Division for a while, but have held steady within Pro. You would have 3 teams here that could find themselves in a rather unfortunate situation in terms of potential relegation spots. But then, of course, at the very bottom, Athletic Bulls, Ice Bear, and Loft Gaming. Very surprised to see Ice Bar in there. I thought they looked pretty good on a Pro broadcast that we covered this past week. Unfortunately for them, things just haven't gone their way. Still just 1 win in 12 games. So rough look there. We take a look at group number 2, though. At the top on points percentage, it is Purification 7-0-1 to kick off this new season. You have Opera Hockey, Gunners, another usual suspect in Pro with Arctic, Björklöven Esports there as well. We talk about the 3 teams that would find themselves back in Pro if the season were to end today, teams that could find themselves in a little bit of trouble, and teams that could definitely find themselves in trouble. Powerhouse HC and Xbox at the bottom, despite the fact, as you can see there, for Ultimatum, they do have 2 wins, both of them, though, overtime wins on the season so far. But talking about the top of Group 2 with Purification, not as much Elite Division experience in recent seasons, but you can take a look here at the numbers. Very well-rounded scoring metrics. Goaltending has been stellar, 88.16% for Carlson so far this season, and it won't be much of a surprise to you here as we take a look at some of these league-wide stats. We'll actually show some love to the goalies here first, and you look at the save percentage, and amongst starters, Carlson, 8 games, 88%. Not too many people able to compete with that. Again, the 5 games played, 5-0 for Lepadinho, which is tremendous stuff, but we'll see if they can maintain that through a few more games played. So Carlson doing a tremendous job. In terms of skaters in general, we look leading the way in terms of points, and it's one of those names that, hey, we'll get used to eventually here. I'm gonna have to if you continue on performances like this, 34 points in 12 games, I want to know, let me know correct pronunciation, because I have a feeling I'm going to need to know it sooner rather than later. Not only, of course, leading the league in points, leading the league in goals as well. Very difficult to do when you look at some names like here, Persuiti on Opera Hockey, Niskalaukos. You got guys that have been in the mix, Elite Division, Pro Division experience for a very, very long time. Not easy to outscore players like that. But of course, ultimately, we have someone who has stepped up. Easy for me to say, about as difficult for me to say as the name itself. Let's take a look at the ECL's light division, our third tier here for the ECL and Sports Gamer. We take a look at Group 1, of course, going off of points percentage as we do, with 6 sticks misfits. God, I can't wait to call some of your games on broadcast. That's not going to mess Sin and I up all the time. You also have Almost Famous up there, Hexa Esports as well. Got to give a shout out to them as we continue on through Group 1. And of course, you know, you kind of talk about teams that might have the safety and everything heading into next season. That light division can be a bit of a toss-up, to say the least. You can see quite a bit of roster turnover within the light division. And of course, one team, Northern Dust, still looking for their first win on the season, yet to do so through 6 games. But we focus primarily, of course, on those teams at the top. And well, talking about the misfits here, let's take a look at these numbers. 36 points in 12 games for Lamsa, leading the way, which is, again, regardless of what division you're in, if you're able to put up points like that, there's no such thing, at least from my viewpoint, as an easy division within the ECL. And indeed, to be able to put up numbers like that, tremendous stuff. They have phenomenal goaltending from Ranta, as you would expect. All the signs of a team that can absolutely compete for potential promotion. When you talk about the scoring efforts, you talk about the goaltending that you're seeing as well. But that is just Group 1. We go now to Group number 2, just 2 teams above that 2 points per game mark, Bonebreakers and Pasalan. So we'll take a look at Bonebreakers, though, kind of leading the way right now with the 8 wins on the season, 2 of them in overtime, but you see the difference there, the 1 extra loss for Pasalan so far. Bonebreakers just ahead on points, leading the way in Group 2. And again, it's another club where, in terms of the kind of broadcasting coverage that Sin and I have had over the last few seasons, not a team that we've seen really at all, or players that we've seen at all, which is kind of a rarity. Throughout pro, throughout you know, your lights and your cores, you'll often see some players that have had that higher up experience. But at the end of the day, and not to say, of course, that there hasn't been that pro experience, you get the point, though. You're still seeing performances like this, again, in a very, very tough tier to play in. And especially, too, having that many players suit up for games, not easy to have that kind of continued success as well. You see a lot of top teams moving forward with the same kind of 6, maybe 7. So to already be up to 8 players having been on the ice so far this season for Bonebreakers, it's a good sign. It's a good sign for their depth and in general, just to be able to put up those points. But as mentioned, Pasalan not too far behind them as you continue to scroll down through and talk about the teams that could perhaps be in a little bit of trouble. Again, it's early at the end of the day, and you can see the discrepancy in some of the games played as well, which, again, is why point percentage is a good way to go. But let's talk about Group number 3, leading the way. Just 10 games played compared to Neptune Hockey's 22, but it is Invasion at 8-1 on this season so far, 27 points through those 10 games. They are leading the way here. And of course, some other familiar names that we have seen in the past that we saw through our coverage here on the wraparound in the prior campaign, the prior season. But in taking a look at Invasion, again, it's a weird team to judge due to the lack of games compared to some of their direct competition. But when you have numbers like this from that top 3, you can see, of course, why the record is as strong as it is. It's just a matter of, can they sustain this through the rest of the season? The goaltending as well has been incredibly solid. Again, all the calling cards, as we've seen through the other divisions, of a team that can still stick around towards the top and make a push for promotion come the end of the season. But taking a look here at some of the stats, it is Benny. I believe it's Wee Benny, if I'm not mistaken, for Neptune Hockey, leading the way, 55 points in 19 games. And in general, look at that top 3 for Neptune Hockey. Absolutely crushing it right now. Talk about warning signs and, you know, kind of being able to see, like, okay, that's a team to keep an eye out on. Doesn't get much more obvious than that. So certainly keep an eye out on Neptune Hockey moving forward. And of course, in talking about the goaltenders, We always love to give goaltenders some spotlight here. Quite a few, as you can see, with more than a handful of games that are still hovering above 85%, if not closer to that 90% save percentage. It was a very interesting conversation and discussion as to what this season was going to be for goaltenders, especially the start of NHL 24 with the tether system. But now, of course, goalies have those free options again, and we're seeing some stellar goaltending throughout these divisions. So that is your look in at our light division. Let's take a look at the ECL's core division. Of course, our fourth tier here, and want to give a little bit of a spotlight to, of course, some of the clubs that we have as they continue on throughout their journey in the ECL. Top of Group 1 right now, the Aspire Dragons at 10-0 and, well, 10-0 1-1 technically. 10-1-1. There you go. We're gonna get used to this format eventually. Maybe I might get used to it. I might not. But the Aspire Dragons have been awesome, and of course, you have a handful of teams here that are still over that 2-point per game mark, which is certainly a very positive sign. But you do see the discrepancy in games played: 16 for Bare Knuckles Hockey, whereas you have a couple of teams here at the top, including Mites with 8 games played so far. And taking a look though at the Aspire Dragons, who again are off to a tremendous start this season, and it's Greek Freak leading the way, man. 47 points in 12 games is outrageous. There's some good scoring across the board, to say the least, but Greek Freak is absolutely crushing it right now. The goaltending for both of these guys, tremendous stuff. 2 shutouts on the season as well. Goals against average, both under a 2. We've talked about those positive signs. Certainly some positive signs for the Dragons so far this season. They are a team to keep an eye on, especially as they start to make up some of these games. As you see, some clubs 16, 18 games as well throughout group number 1. We get to group number 2, and again, another pretty close group. 6 teams with at least 2 points per game, as again, 2.5 points a game already. 6-1-1 through the 8 games, I believe, for Fearless Hockey. Let me know if I'm incorrect on that one. But in terms of taking a look at some of the numbers here, of course, we saw the stellar numbers elsewhere. This is not a team, though, that's racking up these points by dominating on the score sheet. And it was one of the more interesting teams to look at as I was going through these, because look at this. It is all defense and all goaltending, to say the least. Both goalies with at least a 90% save percentage, 3 shutouts on the season, and shutout periods here, 18 combined through the 8 games played. Tremendous. Just absolutely tremendous effort from these guys in terms of the defensive efforts. You don't often see that for a team at the top of a group. Normally it's a little bit of everything. Right there, it's just pure defense and goaltending, and I'm very intrigued to see if that can hold up. As we continue to scroll down here into group number 3, talk about a great point percentage. 2.81 for the Silver Sword Griffins. 14 wins out of 16 games played. Absolutely phenomenal. As we'll take a look here at the numbers, and again, a lot more of what you are accustomed to seeing for a top team or a team atop a group. Absolutely destroying worlds when it comes to point production. The goaltending, well, the defense in general could be an area of concern. They do need to tighten up on that side of things. You can get away with outscoring opponents consistently in the regular season, but playoff wise, pressure's on the line. You want to be able to know that you can reliably drop back, play that shutdown defense, get that dominant goaltending that can help steal you games as well. Because if that puck luck's not going your way, and all of a sudden you go from scoring, I mean, look at this. Let's go back and get an exact number for the Griffins here, instead of just being like, oh, what about this for goals for? You look at this: 6 goals for per game. How sustainable is that come playoff time, I wonder? Whereas goals against, I mean, it is the 3rd lowest in this particular group. Rusty Bulls leading the way in that category, a team that we saw quite a bit last season. I just wonder how sustainable that is. I hope for the rest of the teams in this group, in the division in general, that it's not sustainable, because that looks like a championship level pace right there. But again, it is still early days, so keep an eye out. And of course, we have group number 4 as well. Just 3 teams, though, above that 2-point per game mark. It is Nameless leading the way over Sack Brothers, who of course have been around in the ECL for quite a while now at this stage. It is worth noting, of course, you have Frenzy that is DNF the season, so they will be forfeiting all of their games and everything like that, so not too much of a factor at this stage. Ultimately, though, in taking a look at Nameless, 8 wins out of 10 games played so far this season. A more familiar story, the high fire-powered offense, maybe not to the same extent that we've seen with some other teams. Solid goaltending as well. That is more what we are accustomed to seeing in terms of a team leader, that well-rounded approach, I should say. And as we get a look at the stats here, you already know who's going to be at the top of this list. And there's some good separation between the top 2 for the Griffins over Snippy Statue of Sack Brothers. I mean, again, this is just outrageous. 3 of the top 4 in the league right now. Tremendous stuff from the Griffins. Very intrigued as to whether or not they can keep this up. And you look at the 30 goal scorers so far, there's only 4 of them. And the top 2 are on the Griffins, and 3 of the top 5 up there for goal scorers as well. It's been an absolutely insane pace that's worth keeping an eye on. And of course, we talk about the goaltending as well. We focus on the, goaltenders that have a few more games as opposed to just one out there. And we're continuing to see really solid save percentages, 90%, 89%. Very intrigued to see, and tremendous name from Ask Goalmaster, who plays goalie. That's a shame. You need to be a grinder in front of the net. Park that booty. I'm very intrigued to see if those save percentages stay as people continue to get accustomed to the game. For now, though, that is your look at our core division. Let's take a look at the ECL's Neo division. Of course, our entry level tier, and let's break down what we have so far. Group number 1, sorting by point per game. It is Russian Lightning leading the way, 7 wins out of their first 10 games. Very, very strong start for them, to say the least. Of course, as we scroll down, we have Group 2 as well. And look at this, top 4 teams all over 2 points per game. It is the Ice Vikings currently leading the way right now with 7 of their 8 games finishing in wins. Easy for me to say. You scroll down to group number 3, and it just keeps getting better in terms of the percentages. The Urban Evasion, 9 wins out of their 10 games so far. Group number 4, led by Old Hogs, 5 out of 6. Good start to the season. Of course, as you continue to scroll down, you can see the discrepancy in games played. We see that throughout all the tiers, of course, really until the end of the season. Group 5, 9, 1-0 on the season so far. 9-0-1, I should say. It is an overtime loss for Oviedo, I would imagine, or Ojeveto. I'm not sure. Let me know. I have no problem admitting that I'm not sure, because I want to know. That is the point of this show, to not only inform me, but to mostly inform me. That's what we're here for at the end of the day. But again, a really, really good start to their season, but some tough competition within group number 5. Group 6 as well, led by Nordland at 2.5 on the season so far in terms of points per game. Another team to keep an eye on. I always find, though, that with Neo and Light, those lower tiers, you do often see rapid changes. At least we saw that quite a bit last season, where, hey, you never know who's going to find some of that momentum. But speaking of momentum, I mean, we mentioned Urban Evasion at the top of their particular group, and this is why. You are looking at 3 players and probably at a group in general that will not be in Neo for all that long. You could argue whether or not they should have been in Neo in general this season. They are just destroying worlds. I mean, again, those are just ungodly numbers. You're talking at the very least 5 points a game for the worst of the three forwards in terms of the percentages and of course goal scoring as well. The only three players to eclipse, easy for me to say, 20 goals on the season as well. Goaltending wise, always intrigued to look at this. And again, a lot of 90 save percentages so far, including for goaltenders that have more than just 2 games played. So it is a consistent theme, really, I would say, throughout all the tiers. Some high-level goaltending going on right now, some elite scorers, to say the least. It is still very early days for this particular ECL season, our Winter 24 campaign. But that is your look at our Neo Division. So with that, everybody, that is your full look at everything going on here on the show. Of course, I want to thank you all for tuning in here. As always, hey, you have suggestions? Let me know. Hit me up on Discord. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm always intrigued at what you guys think that we could do better here with this particular show. And of course, pronunciations help me out as always. And I'm always trying to hit the mark on names, myself included. But with that, again, we thank you very much for tuning in here and checking out the wraparound. Again, make sure to check out the PlayStation Showcase Tournament. All the information up on sportsgamer.gg. For now, we will say goodbye. Thank you again for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SportsGamer, and welcome back to the ECL Elite Divisions coverage for our Winter 24 season. My name is Tuki, joined, of course, by Mr. Sin for the win, or is it Finn for the win? Well, he's over there, of course. Sin, very happy to have you back here on broadcast, and hey, you're as close to the action as we typically get.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's of course great to be back as well. Not used to doing these at nighttime, but here we are at the source and stuff like that. And we have a terrific first matchup in store for them, for everyone out there as well. Lekstugan and Polski boys. I mean, again, we saw Polski boys in those pro finals. They looked very good and a brilliant new addition to their roster, which is making a world of difference.
Absolutely. And of course, our second matchup a little bit later on, Tunnel Vision taking on hREDS, a big matchup there that you're not going to want to miss. So buckle up. We got an interesting ride on this particular broadcast. For the moment, let's take a look, though, at the standings as we get ready for the start of week 3 action here within the Elite Division. Of course, the majority of the teams, closing in on, if not already there, in terms of the halfway point of the season, a 30-game regular season. And right now, it is Yippee Vaskala topping the league, 33 points through 14 games played. Instead, of course, as we focus on this opening matchup, it is Polski boys, our Pro Division champions from last season, currently in 6th, taking on 15th Lekstugan, who really do need to start finding some of that momentum if they're going to avoid one of those bottom 4 positions.
Yeah, and it hasn't quite clicked for them quite yet throughout the course of their season. They're just not finding the back of the net enough. I mean, 14 goals through those 8 games played so far is simply not going to be enough. And it's great to see Polski boys, the new kids on the block, so to speak, here in the Elite Division for the first time. They're not a positive goal differential, but it's close enough, so to speak. And they have a lot of regulation wins, which again, that's going to boost them up here in the standings this year. Of course, we have the new point format, and we see there now indicated by the differential between wins and OT wins now, as we added that to our standings look as well. So you get a more of an idea, and it's more clear just how these teams are winning games, and that's why Polski boys find themselves on that left-hand side of the bracket, which is where they want to be.
Top 8 make the playoffs, and indeed 3 points for a regulation win, 2 for an overtime win, 1 for an overtime loss, and no points for a regulation loss. So again, you have that extra added incentive of being aggressive and winning in regulation, and as a result, we have seen some changes here. And again, some teams perhaps doing a little bit better with that kind of more aggressive oriented structure, and of course, the gameplay changes that we've seen from NHL 23 now over to NHL 24. With that, let's take a look at the team stats for our opening matchup. Again, it is Lekstugan HC taking on Polski boys. As you get a look at the numbers here, Sin, you already mentioned Polski boys with that negative goal differential. Well, that's a feature for both teams right now at this stage of the season. But it's funny because you look at the numbers, and I mean, it just kind of, it's not maybe surprising to see a gap like that, between 6th and 15th. Because when you get you got to look at these numbers, they're not that drastically different. It's interesting at this point. Obviously, you have all the extra added games from Polski boys. I think it
Yeah.
just goes to show that Lekstugan have a chance still to kind of battle back in the season.
Yeah, I mean, Polski boys have played at this point literally twice as many games as Lekstugan have, and that's quite the differential here. And if that makes it kind of easy for us to just do some quick maths on that. Lekstugan, they are letting in goals at a higher rate than the Polski boys, and they are scoring at less of a rate. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Like the record is what's kind of very interesting. And near enough to 500 for the Polski boys, and for Lekstugan, they just have that single win on the season. They got to figure out a way to be able to secure some W's here. Otherwise, they could be one of, if not that team, who is going to get relegated automatically.
And 16th place team will indeed drop down. Polski boys have done a good job so far of trying to make sure they don't immediately go back down to where they came from. Lekstugan now one of those teams that are on the hot seat. Let's get a look at the team lineups for this one. As again, we get ready for the regular season matchup between these two clubs. For the Lekstugan side, it is Tilson, Demas, and Bror as the front three, with Katanarski and Osplund on defense, and Lillebror in goal. On the other side, for Polski boys, JM, Barakela, and Saski, Kunkin and Vote on defense, Winchester in goal. Let's go to that kind of head-to-head comparison that we always do. We start off at center with Demas and the captain on the other side in Barakela, an elite division rookie, despite quite a bit of experience in the lower tiers. And well, Senny's off to a very, very good start.
Yeah, 21 points in 16 games played. The face-off percentage just below 50%. Can still improve upon that, but it's a huge jump. Coming from the pro division to the elite division, you're taking on the other, really the best centers in Europe there. So that's a learning curve that he's going to have to continue to get better with throughout the course of the season. But his point production is where you want it. Kind of see it, above that point per game mark. Got to keep playing a solid two-way game, and as we saw from him in the pro finals, he's that anchor for this front three in a lot of ways. And then you look at Demas. I mean, those aren't bad numbers. Again, it's like Lekstugan have good individuals right now. They're just still trying to put it together and get those team results.
So we take a look next at the winger comparison. Again, it is JM and Saski for Polski boys. On the other side, Tilson and Bror, who have both kind of struggled to get out of the gates, but sit on the other side. Our featured player here is JM, as somebody with elite division experience, one of just two players in this Polski boys lineup that has that experience. But again, someone who debuted way back in ECL season 2. And we've talked about that in the past, the importance of a pro division club coming up to the next level and being able to secure a player like this. It can change everything.
Yeah, and we've seen that from a couple of the last, teams like that who have come up and then stuck. You think of Sada Poika being on that now Hamo lineup. That first season that they came up, he was a tremendous player for them. And so far, as you pointed out, JM has been fantastic here for Polski boys. Just below 2 points per game, over a goal per game. He's doing exactly what he needs to do and throwing the body quite a bit as well. But yeah, I think we're kind of seeing the woes of the offense coming in from the wingers of Lekstugan. Both of them sub point per game, which is, I mean, bare minimum, you have to be at least point per game to just try to stay in the elite division. They both really, really are going to need to step up that production if they want to dig themselves out of the hole. But the good news is, they still are only at 8 games played. If they start to pull it together, they have that chance.
The defensive head-to-head is next. Again, Katanarski and Osplund against Kungan and Avote on the other side. Similar numbers, of course, in that we would expect to see in terms of the differential due to the games played, and of course, Lekstugan's struggles all around in those first couple of games this season.
Yeah, and I think we both at this point really expected Katanarski to have some better numbers. He really seemed in the last season to be cementing his place as a difference maker here in the elite division. But much like his team, it's symptomatic of where he's at right now. Is the team play? It's just not all quite there. They haven't quite put it together, and so far right now, Katanarski's not quite able to get back into playing at that level that he was in the last season here.
Of course, our final head to head, the battle of the goaltenders, Lillebror taking on Winchester, who has been the better of the two goaltenders available for Polski boys, played less of the amount of games, but the numbers solid. Lillebror on the other side, I mean, that's a good sign, right? You're talking about a team that's struggling, but you have that good save percentage, a goals against under 3, obviously indicative it's more of a team stat. You're getting the goaltending. You just need to get him that offensive support.
Yeah, I mean, when you see, the numbers where they are, near 84 save percentage, but the record being what it is, he's hit the nail on the head. He's going to need some goal support. He's been doing his part in net. I mean, we've seen that, I think, a couple times now where we've seen goaltenders having these terrific performances and they're just not able to get that goal support. And for Winchester on the other side, he's putting up those good numbers, and how, his record is exactly what you want to see from those types of numbers. He's being rewarded by his team with some offense, and that really kind of calms your nerves when you're in the blue paint back there. Is when you're getting that goal support, there's a little less pressure on you. He could play a bit more free, and he's has a tremendous start so far to the season.
So with that, we are just a few moments away from the beginning of this broadcast night of action again. Four games, the first two between Lekstugan and Polski boys. And again, a little bit later on, it'll be hREDS taking on Tunnel Vision as an interesting matchup there as well, given the changes that both of these two teams have undergone over the off season. I mean, listen, we've always talked about that and just kind of the drastic changes that can happen from season to season. But I don't know, there's something about this off season where it just seemed like it was that much more amplified in terms of the changes. And maybe it just feels that way as well because of the gameplay changes.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a little bit of recency bias, and I'm sure people out there who've watched us for long enough, they're like, well, they say the same thing every time. Well, it always shocks us because there's sometimes there are moves that we're really not expecting. It's especially, I mean, Nike, for example, shifting teams after essentially being on the team that owned NHL 23 in the European scene. So these are kind of moves that we maybe necessarily don't expect, and we're really excited to see how it really shakes up the elite division. And again, this season no different. New teams coming in, players switching allegiances, and we're really excited, and I think it's really amplified by just how much of a difference that the gameplay is for NHL 24 to 23. So we know all the roster changes are coming and the gameplay changes. How are teams going to adjust? How do players adjust? Are we going to have new top players? Are we going to have new top teams? And I mean, you guys saw the standings. Jyväskylä are in such a good position. Maybe something that we didn't expect, but somewhere that they've been before, way, way back when Tugi and I were casting our first ECL season. They're at the top of the elite division.
Long time ago at this point, to say the least. It's funny too because we kind of talk about the transfers. The transfer deadline is tomorrow as well, so we'll see if there are any kind of late changes to any rosters, any additions. Of course, last season, we did see some moves towards that deadline
Yeah.
day. FaZe and his temporary departure from hREDS before technically going back. I mean, you never know quite what you're going to see in terms of those potential
hmm
changes.
I mean, yeah, that was our first major trade deadline day move that we ever got to cover in the ECL, which was pretty fantastic and something that I don't think either of us expected. I mean, FaZe was as much hREDS as hREDS was FaZe in so many ways, and to see him kind of move and then taking into that at the time, that Färjestad roster, it was really shook us up and really shook up the league as well. So we'll have to see. I mean, there's still a few more hours here. Well, might be a big transfer once again.
Hey, fingers crossed, right? And especially too, hey, if that news is going to break, let's do it on broadcast again. It makes it that much better to get the live reactions from us for moves that people probably saw coming, but we certainly didn't. It's always fun. But indeed, we are just about ready to go. Quick reminder though, before we get into the action, we talked about it a little bit earlier on the PlayStation Showdown. Signups and registration still live and up and ready to go for both a 1v1 and 4v4 format. Again, this is specifically though for the PS5 side of things and our Finnish audience and player base. So again, sportsgamer.gg, all the information that you need for the PlayStation Showdown. Make sure to get involved if you can. But sitting with that, we are just about ready to go. You get a look here at the two teams in the lobby, and well, I know you're improving in terms of language. I am as well. There's a lot of puck moving defensemen at the
hmm
very least. I mean that helps when you know it's puck moving defensemen pretty much almost across the board. No real surprises in terms of what we're seeing.
No, I mean it's pretty standard when you think of what the meta is: playmaker in the middle, puck movers, everywhere else, including the wings. Again, we have seen a lot more snipers being used with that gold 1T presenting the threat, including from some of the top teams too. So I'm curious to see if that's going to start bleeding over into some of the teams a bit further down the standings here, as that seems to kind of be how a meta evolves. It's those top teams are really the ones who set the meta. Are those builds, the best for everyone? Hard to say, but if the top players are using them, then it's usually how a meta gets developed here. So we'll have to see if that starts bleeding over, but I mean, everyone still loves the puck movers, and why not? Great stats across that build.
Of course, you see there our Pro Division Spotlight tomorrow to be Sin and King Lime on the call for that one as we kick off another week of ECL action here. And of course, the Elite Division takes center stage. Lekstugan against Polski boys in our opening set of games. As of course, we're watching from the Lekstugan viewpoint here. Polski boys in the home red. Good bit of movement here early on. Pass across. Kadanarski able to pick it off. Get things down the other way. Pass up ahead for Tiltson. Doesn't go through. They're able to pick that one off. And Polski boys, another rush. Good job by Kadanarski. There's Polski boys. Able to establish in the offensive zone. Good pick off there by Demas. Man cutting in front. Maybe an errant pass there leads to an offside.
Yeah, that was a lot of good kind of up and down movement from Polski boys right there. They tried that a couple times, and that time I liked it a little bit better. Instead of just going purely from the rush, they stopped on the half wall for just a split second, then worked it down low and trying to hit that man cutting out in front of the net. That can sometimes catch the defense off guard as they, get collapsed and maybe get caught a little flat-footed in front of the net.
A loose puck. Good pressure here from Lekstugan, not able to hold it into the attacking zone. And a little bit of friendly fire there from Asplin. And an offside call here again against Lekstugan. Not quite in their rhythm yet at the start of this game.
No, definitely not. And, last time you could argue, mispassed right there. That time, Bror just got caught going a little bit too fast right there as the pass went to the centerman here. So we'll have to figure that out because zone entries are going to be very important here as Polski boys in on the forecheck.
Covered here by Asplin. Let's see where he can go with it. Not able to force that one through. Picked off by JM. The golden helmet where for his team is leading scorer as Brockman tried to get that one across. Kadanarski can do again last season, as Sin mentioned, a bit of a breakout for him this year. Not quite able to continue an upward trajectory, at least so far. Off there by Tiltson. Demas, though, not able to hold on to it. Polski boys forming into the attacking zone. Force across doesn't go. One-timer from the point. And a good glove save by Lillebror.
Yeah, really good job to track that puck. It was chaos in front of the net as they tried that force through the middle. Bodies were flying. Someone had done the starfish defense, and then he still was able to track that back as they kicked it to the high point one-timer.
Demas again in the middle. Doing what he can to help out his defense. Bror over to Tiltson. Kadanarski pinching in. Still has that puck down low. Now Demas back to the point. Own time here. These Polski boys, though, able to break this one out. The attacking zone now. Bote at the point. Circles back. Puck in the corner. JM. Patience finds that pass down low. Polski boys putting in the work. Good defense, though, by Lekstugan, really holding them to the outside. Kadanarski nowhere to go. Polski boys again on the rush, can't get that shot through. Kadanarski again looking to lead down the other way. Pass up the middle. Polski boys there to take it away. think we are good to go in terms of quality there as we waited to see what was going to happen. You never know when random tech issues might pop up, and a good glove save there yet again by Lillebror.
Yeah, he's had to be sharp so far in this one. Facing some shots from pretty dangerous areas so far as well, and you know, again, the counterattack from his own team just hasn't quite been there yet.
Face-off goes all the way back down to the other end. We hit the final minute of play here in the first period. Lekstugan trying to get something going here. It's been a pretty back and forth neutral zone battle. His opening 20 minutes. Good hit there. Polski boys trying to keep this one in. Shot, another glove save by Lillebror. Maybe, just maybe, avoid that glove moving forward if you are Polski boys. Should be too little too late for anything to happen here, and indeed it is. That is it for the first period of play. It sent some back and forth moments. I don't want to say the most exciting part was the stream freezing on us for a second, but the feeling out process was very much on display there.
Yeah, something that we haven't seen a whole lot of so far in this ECL season was kind of a first period where neither team could really gain the upper hand. I mean, you see time on attack there for Polski boys, 3 minutes of it, but just able to muster just 3 shots, and not exactly what we thought we'd necessarily see, but they seem to want to really try to attack that middle of the ice, and for right now, that's the one place that Lekstugan is doing a really good job of covering here. So you'd like to see Polski boys maybe start to spread things out just a little bit more. Take a few more perimeter shots. I mean, you think back to some of the good shots that they got. One of them was, you know, after the chaos in front, they got that one-timer from high in the zone. I would like to see them take a few more shots from there, try to pull out the Lekstugan defense from the positions that they are in.
We get ready here for the second period of play. Of course, the action brought to you by our friends at Kovalan Lakritsi. It is the first game of 2 between Lekstugan and Polski boys in their regular season matchup. Again, a little bit later on, we have Tunnel Vision taking on hREDS. Big matchup there. Pilsen leading the way. Away by Barakula as Polski boys again going to try to get established. They had the zone time advantage in that first period, but could not find a way through. Lekstugan get this puck down low. Good bit of cycling here. Shot broken up. A temporary freeze there as well. Of course, we'll keep an eye out on that. This one is sent down for icing.
So not too bad of a start right there. Lekstugan trying to get a little bit of pushback here to start this period off, and they're going to need it. Again, we talked about it in the pregame. Their biggest sort of Achilles heel so far in this season has just been a lack of scoring. They want to try to get that going here, but turnover nearly on the blue line. They keep it in.
And momentarily, that puck ends up out of play. Didn't actually see how that ended up out of play, but regardless, we will have a face-off here. Back in the attacking zone. And a good defensive zone draw win there for Barakula. As again, we saw both centers, 48% win percentage on the season so far, so it is an even matchup. This pass off the mark. We'll have an icing down the other way.
And again, this game just hasn't quite found a pace quite yet. I think both of us are just sort of waiting on the edge of our seat, seeing which of these teams is going to try to take advantage of some time and space, and if they could get into a rhythm here, because both of them seem a little bit out of rhythm. A shot right there from the slot. Lillebror once again swallowing it up, and glove save.
Sneaky there too. Players in front of him, almost out of the darkness and into the light, is the save made yet again by Lillebror. Off the draw, Polski boys have it. Back to the point, shot there, doesn't quite get through. Barakula can't get that one to the front of the net. Bemis now trying to lead the way for Lekstugan. They need this opening goal. They need some momentum here. Bror has it down low. And only momentarily, big contact there. Polski boys will settle it down. Lead their way into the attacking zone, broken up. And we have seen a lot of quick changes in possession. There's another one yet again. Nearly reached the halfway point of this second period. One sent down, foot race for it. That one off the post, nearly a bit of friendly fire. Winchester's there to cover.
Yeah, again, kind of one of those things of just, throw pucks towards the net. Good things can happen. Nearly sort of happened right there. As it looked like maybe a pass trying to make it to the slot and just off the bar right there. So we'll see what'll come from the ensuing face-off. Good win right there and chance to maybe stretch things out, but good defensive positioning there from Gadanarski to break it up.
Brings it over the line on the other side. Goes for the wrap. Good stop there. Winchester read the play well. Demas looks to get it down low, and he does. Loose puck, though. Covered once again. Polski boys into the attacking zone. The cut to the slot, poked away. And looking to lead their way through the neutral zone. Tilton able to pick it off, but not able to hold on to it. Goes all the way back to the point. D to D, shot. Good opportunity there. Lekstugan trying to get some zone time here. It's been hard to come by throughout this game so far. Good poke check. Again, an errant pass. Able to do much. Pass back to the slot. Went backhand instead of forehand. Polski boys still in the attacking zone here. Back to the point. Good movement. Both able to hold this one in. D to D again. Jam in the corner, trying to go to work. Back in front. They tried that quick passing play. Lekstugan able to prevent the chance, but again, still not able to get much going in the attacking zone. Down low, back to the point. That shot, good poke check to break it up. 2-on-1 here. Don't find the back of the net. Final few seconds of the second period. JM recovers. Good patience. Risky pass, though. Works out. One more chance here for Polski boys. Low shot, rebound, scores! 0.5 on the clock. Polski boys have the breakthrough goal. It's JM's, and who else would it be?
Yeah, after an incredibly risky play at the other side, feeding that in front for the breakout, I thought the smart play was just to kind of flip that one out, eat the rest of it, but I love that decision-making from Vote right there, just taking the shot low, seeing what he could get from it. It bounces right out to JM's stick. He buries it, and Polski boys have a 1-0 lead that they'll be carrying into this second intermission. Huge goal for them and puts a lot of pressure on Lekstugan, who, again, their biggest Achilles heel has been scoring. They haven't really showed us in this game any major offensive looks, any huge chances. I mean, they had that 2-on-1. They tried, I think, a backdoor feed, and I'm not quite sure if they even got a shot away. The puck ended up into the corner, and that's, their one big chance. They've got to find some ways to be able to generate some more zone time. Start with zone time. Start with taking some perimeter shots. I mean, here they are, 2 registered shots in 2 periods. That's just not going to be enough. I don't think either of these two teams are shooting quite enough. I think Polski boys have tried to be a little too cute, going for those middle passes, or when they do get it down low, they take it close to behind the net and try to feed the slot immediately. But, I mean, Lekstugan's doing a pretty good job of taking that away. But they do have that one goal. That one goal came from simple hockey. Pucks on net, crashed in the net for the rebound, and Jam was rewarded for being in a good position. Volte's going to get a point for just making a good decision there with that time expiring in that second period. So I'd like to see a bit more of that from Polski boys here. Continue the pretty good defensive play that they've had, and it's hard for Winchester. He hasn't been tested much, but he's made saves that he's had to make. So we'll have to see what happens here in this third period, as Lekstugan really need to find some offense here in their game.
JM's 20th goal of the season. Many as the, well, rest of his teammates combined. And we talked about his importance to this lineup and how he's been able to take them to the next level. He has the breakthrough here. Polski boys looking for another. Good zone time here yet again. We've let this yet to see full pressure on either side. Couple swings and a miss there. We'll look to see a potential breakthrough here. Pass across. Shot doesn't go. Rotate down low into the corner. Good movement here. Polski boys continuing to keep up that pressure. Puck down low in the corner. Good patience on display. Good poke check, but they win it back. Sin, this is just smart play. They do lose the puck right as they get full pressure. But if Lekstugan, if their main, kind of move here is going to be just to trap as much as they can. Good shot there, Winchester. Able to hold on to it. I mean, if your play is going to be to just trap, there's no reason for the opposing team to not just work the corners and keep that zone time up.
Absolutely not. Work the perimeter. And, I mean, the second you said trap, I saw a really, really nice forecheck there that turned the puck over and gave them probably their best chance of the night right there. I mean, it was stopped by Winchester, but that's what they need to do. Need to get a bit more aggression if they're going to, trap and collapse, as you said. With the deficit in this game, Polski boys, they're just going to work that perimeter forever.
Hudson's onside. Katanarski, trouble at the point, but holds on to it. One-timer across. Good stop there by Winchester. Rockela able to get into the attacking zone. JM on the back end, unable to hold on. Wins it back, though. Polski boys continue to work the perimeter. Kick back. Kurwa trying to pinch in. Brewer takes it away. Katanarski jumping up into the play. Spin pass to Tilson. He scores! Lekstugan have their breakthrough, and Sin, it was another example of Katanarski stepping up and giving them some options offensively.
Yes, and that's absolutely huge for Lekstugan. You're going to see it right here. He's going to fill that lane on that far left side right there, and that just opens up so much space. He's able to kind of hit the trailer right there. He gets a brilliant shot off from just above the hash marks here. Lekstugan able to tie that game up, and now Polski boys here, not in trouble, but with the amount of zone time that they've had, they're probably feeling like they should have got a few more shots and a few more chances out of it. We'll see how they respond here.
Only 8 minutes of play left for one of these two teams to try and secure 3 points. Here's JM. Big save. Lillebroer got that left pad down. Keeps JM from getting his second goal of the game. They started talking about those 3 points for the regulation win. Daski. Vote at the point. D to D. Kurwa back down for JM. Here will Vote, the one-timer, can't get it through. Tilson's able to recover. Now 5 minutes to go. Demas across. Vote able to pick it off. Set of passes. Delayed call here as well. Polski boys will get the first power play of the game. Going to be a cross-check here, and what an opportunity this is.
Absolutely. They've had a really good cycle in this game so far. Now, it seemed like at times they were not hesitant to shoot, I would say, but sometimes maybe looking for a more perfect opportunity. I say they have to attack right now. Those shots. Try to get themselves into that full pressure range and really try to capitalize on their chances. Good face-off win to start things off.
Saski has it. Got the shot on. Lillebroer the save, and wisely holds on to it. No need to risk that extra pressure.
No, absolutely not. I think that's a really good call by him, but I love that from Polski boys. They see the lane. They took the shot. They had a man in front looking for the rebound. That's just going to help them continue to compound some of that pressure here, and they are going to keep that in.
Kirwa back to Vote, pinching in, still has it. Another D-to-D pass. Only halfway through this power play. They do get the full pressure. JM on the forehand. Shot on. Good stop there by Lillebroer, and a quick clear out by Demas. Alleviate that full pressure. Just 25 seconds left on the man advantage. Vote for Saski. Back to the point. D-to-D. Kirwa pinching in. Can't get the shot off. Good poke check. We are back to 5-on-5. Saski's shot broken up. Kirwa back to Vote. 90 seconds left. A good block there. Osplin was in the way. Vote diving effort to try and keep it alive. Here go Lekstugan. 30 seconds left. The slowdown in effect for the time. Barakala pinch, or really kind of pinches there and takes it away. Saski the opportunity, and a good job by Katanarski. You can see the urgency from these two teams running out of time to try and secure those 3 points. Final 10 seconds, one more rush here. Barakala off the side of the goal. Osplin will send it up. 1 second to go. Tilts in too little too late. And with that, both teams will secure a point. But those 3 points off the board, Sim will play for the extra point here in overtime.
Yeah, I feel like a bit of a missed opportunity for both of them. You know, the way this game started off, very, very slow pace, and as it kind of went on, and I think Polski boys lingered a bit too long on looking for a kind of single chance that they wanted to get. They started to throw just more and more pucks on net as that kind of game went along there, but Lillebroer is a good goaltender. I mean, we've seen him really kind of stand out his head at times in the previous broadcast when we did cover Lekstugan. He was really solid for them here, so I think Polski boys are going to have to step it up here. They want that extra point, but thinking about the next game as well, they really, really are going to need to start pouring on the offense and, you know, start mixing things up, or especially as they looked in the early game in this one here. Just a little bit too much of trying to force that slot. And we'll have to see what they do here, but overtime underway.
And the extra point up for grabs here for an overtime win. Mentioned first game of 2 between these two clubs a little bit later on. Tunnel Vision taking on hREDS. We kick off our coverage for week 3. 3 straight days of cast here as well. Then we'll be back with one King Live tomorrow for our Pro Division spotlight, and then more elite action on Wednesday. Plenty to follow along with here in our winter season. Brewer up ahead for Demas. Demas between the legs, ends up towards goal. Dangerous there for Winchester, who plays it out. Right back into the hands of Lekstugan, but only temporarily. Vote to JM, tries to break through, poked away. This time Lillebroer will be forced to cover, but a penalty called here. As we'll get a look, it is going to be JM going to the box for Polski boys.
Yeah, it looked to me like he just shoved someone there looking for a loose puck in front, which we've seen that happen quite a bit throughout the course early on in this season here. And yes, indeed, is he... I think actually it was before the puck went loose. He thought he could go to the forehand and then shoot, and because he kind of moved that way and then hit forward on that, he bumped the defender instead.
Slap shot doesn't get through. That one goes all the way down. So it was Polski boys with a late power play opportunity in regulation, unable to take advantage. Lekstugan with the chance here in overtime, they score! Taking advantage of the opportunity, Lekstugan win in overtime and pick up 2 points here. An upset perhaps, but 2 points in the books.
Yeah, I think you could definitely consider an upset considering how Polski boys looked throughout the majority of the game, looking to be in control and just not able to capitalize on a lot of their chances. That was Winchester just sliding a bit too far over right there, but I love the hesitation right there. You know, helping that goaltender slide further out of position, you know, cutting to that middle instead of just shooting immediately on that one time. You know, just delaying slightly, pulling to the forehand, and then shooting back far side there. And Huge win for Lekstugan. They needed that one desperately, and they need that. They need every single point that they can get. Again, there's still time for them to turn things around. This is just their 9th game of this season here, but time moves fast. That means this next one that we'll play in this broadcast, that will be a third of their season done, so they really need to keep racking up their points. But great job to stick with it and battle back in that one and just get that oh so important extra point.
It wasn't the prettiest game, but it's what we needed to see from them because, again, you got the solid goaltending from Lillebrohr. It's can you find a way to get that goal support? And indeed they did, despite being more than doubled up in time on attack. The shots were close.
Shots, though, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, you can have as much zone time as you want. Odds are, unless it's a pass that gets broken up and still goes in, you're not scoring unless you get shots on. And again, with the new pressure system, they had all that zone time, did Polski boys, and they got full pressure once, maybe twice.
Yeah, that's something that they need to address. They need to pull the trigger a heck of a lot more. I mean, that much time on attack, I don't even think, my screen's a little, unfortunately, wonky, but I think they had like nearly 13 minutes or 15 minutes time on attack and sub 10 shots. In my opinion, minimum, you should average 1 shot per 1 minute time on attack, and they were far below that. And, you know, if you're only scoring 1 goal in a game, I mean, yeah, that's something they definitely are going to need to address. Coming in here today, I mean, they were scoring at a pretty decent rate, and I'm not going to say that they took their opponent lightly or played down to them necessarily. It just didn't seem like they had that urgency in that first game that they need.
So with that first game in the books, we'll be back after a brief word from our sponsor, the second game between these two clubs. Stick with us.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
All right, everybody, we are back. A big thank you for sticking with us here through some technical issues delaying us between games. But again, big thank you for sticking with us as we get ready to continue on. Again, Lekstugan picking up an overtime victory in game number 1. So 2 points in the bank for them. Polski boys at least securing a point, but not a great result for them. We talked about all that time on attack not translating to shots on goal. As a result, all of a sudden they dropped a game that really they probably shouldn't have dropped.
No, yeah, I mean, you can't really can't sugarcoat it any more than that. That's a game that's within their grasp. They had a lead, going into, that third period late there, and it just seemed like, yeah, they we talked about it when they were just cycling in the zone and Lekstugan was just was simply like trapping and collapsing. It's like, that's not the greatest defensive strategy. And, in the same time, it's like also not the greatest offensive strategy to just work the perimeter and not try to get the puck towards the net, not try to get a shot. And so Polski boys, I think in this next game have to be a bit more proactive on the offensive side of things, starting from the opening puck drop. Don't try to get too fancy, don't try to force that middle early on. Don't try to get that one play that they kept looking for, down low and then kicked back out front on that short side. Maybe just keep it a little bit simple. Think about how you scored that goal in the last one at the tail end of the second period. Just a simple shot on net and looking for rebounds.
With that, we should be ready to go in just a matter of moments for the second game between these two teams. And there you go. You see them in the lobby for this one. Doesn't appear to have been any player type changes or anything like that. Just going to go right back to it as, again, our second game between these two teams. And again, I'll be very intrigued to see how this one plays out, given how game 1 happened to go for everything that we discussed. And, that idea of, man, for Polski boys, entering play today in 6th, a good spot to be in. You certainly on paper don't want to drop points to the team entering play in 15th. Again, though, before I turn it over to you, a quick reminder for everybody on the Finnish PS5 side of things. We got some parameters for this particular tournament, but the PlayStation Showdown 1v1, 4v4 options available. SportsGamer.gg for all the information that you need on the PlayStation Showdown. Sin, again, this is a big game, I would say, for Polski boys at this point. Like, you still have the opportunity to walk away with, say, 4 out of 6 points if you get a regulation win here. 4 out of 6, not too bad. Anything less than that, and it's got to be viewed as a disappointing matchup for them.
I think so, especially considering that, yes, they're in that 6th place spot, or at least started there, at the beginning of today's action. That was with 16 games played, I believe, so more than half of their season already in the books here. So if you take on a team like Lekstugan finding themselves at, where they are in those standings, you have to be able to pick these points up if you want to make it to those playoffs.
Early penalty called here against Lekstugan as well. Polski boys, a couple of chances there. Good stop by Lillebror. Gerwa back to Vote, pinching in. Full pressure, good save again by Lillebror. Power play coming up. Osplin to the box. 27 seconds of full pressure time still active.
And that's really going to be good here for Polski boys here to start the power play off already with that full pressure as well. They can get to work fast, and if they go with a tie-up play or if there's any sort of scramble for that loose puck, they are going to be at an advantage hunting for that loose puck. Now, of course, they have the man advantage, but with that slight attribute modification that the defenders will be facing, they got the tie-up, and they're actually going to get the clear right there. JM came in for it, but it bounced precariously into kind of the middle of the ice.
Good start to the kill. Saski throws the puck on. Back to the point. A lot of D2D passes in that last game. We see more of it here. Gerwa back to Saski. Gerwa the shot. Good stop. JM recovers. Vote full pressure active again. One-timer, huge block there, and the puck is cleared. Excellent work on the PK for Lekstugan.
Yeah, that was absolutely massive. That block right there. Little bro was sprawled on the ice. It's hard to say if he was going to be able to make that save.
Never can't get the shot through. Brewer clears, and with that, we are back to 5-on-5. Good PK early on for Lekstugan. Offside call here against Polski boys. So not the way you want to start the game, needing a big PK, but excellent work done regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they got the job done when they needed to. Big blocks right there. You know, that could fire the boys up a little bit here. Nice pass right there. Brewer will enter the zone.
Hold that puck. Rockula does a good job of taking it away. JM unable to hold on. Osplin down low. Trouble, though. Brewer wasn't able to pick that one up. Space now down the other way for Polski boys. Puck turned over. Good recovery. Poke check there by Kadanarski. Now it's Demas. Tried to feather one in front. It does cross the line, but a lot of contact with the netminder.
Yeah.
Bouncing puck and a man on the ice. A mess across the board.
Yeah, with those gloves and those skates, it's pretty hard to lose track of him on the ice. Just full speed into the goaltender who did indeed stand him up. That one should absolutely be coming back, and there it is, neutral zone face-off. So I like the effort, crashing the net hard, but that one will not count.
Here we're back for Vote. JM turns it over. Great pick off by Tilton. 2-on-1 developing. Tried to go short side. It was knocked loose at the last moment. And Winchester will find that loose puck to cover.
I like it right now. Lekstugan getting a little bit more pressure here. Just trying to test Winchester back there as much as they can. If they can continue to snowball here, win this face-off, continue to get more pressure here, they can really put Polski boys on the ropes.
This puck over the line here for the moment. Tilton able to get it up ahead. Rockula over the line. Recovered here. Lekstugan back over the line. Tilton again, another good opportunity. Huge hit there. Polski boys tried to gain the zone. Rockula back over the line here for Polski boys. A great cut to the net. And Lillebroer able to make the save.
Yeah, massive save right there. Something that he's been able to do. I mean, he's really a talented goaltender here for this Lekstugan team. I mean, you know, he hasn't been tested a whole lot in this one, but we recall last one there, even though it wasn't a whole ton of shots, you know, some of the quality of those ones were absolutely massive.
One-timer, good stop again by Lillebroer. Tilton up for Demas. Unable to work his way through. Turned over, Tilton. Point shot, deflection, good stop on the other side by Winchester. Scramble in the neutral zone. It's Saski who comes up with it. Puck sent around. Kadanarski able to pick it up. An offside call here.
Yeah, miscommunication right there for Lekstugan. I mean, that's in my opinion a bit of an unforced error there. Polski boys weren't entirely set up on the line quite yet. A bit of overpassing there as they got to that line, and good face-off win right there, but quickly taken away. Kermont going to be able to break that out for his team.
The final 2 minutes wraparound bid. Saski trying to catch Lillebroer off that post, and a very difficult goaltender to catch off guard, as we've seen.
Yeah, really good laterally moving it, and he's so good at tracking the puck. I think that's such an underrated skill to have sometimes. You know, everyone thinks mechanically, but just being able to track that puck is so important.
Tilton shot, good stop there by Winchester, and one and done in the attacking zone. Final 45 seconds. Gammon able to hold on. Pinch in by Vote. Final 10 seconds here. Dasky down low. And that should do it, and it will. For the first period, much like the last game, we still don't find a breakthrough.
No, but I like this period a lot more from Lekstugan than in that first game, especially. You know, they were able to get a few shots here and there and some better chances too, and they seem to be at least gaining the line or with a little bit more efficiency at time. You know, a couple unforced errors, including that offside when they had nearly a 3-on-2 right there. But more importantly, they really seem to kind of prevent Polski boys from doing at least a ton. Like, there wasn't that many high-quality chances. Of course, they still have that advantage in time and attack, something that we maybe kind of expect. I do like the rate of shots coming out from Polski boys, but they started out kind of similar in the last game, too. They started out shooting quite a bit, and then they really kind of tapered off here as they continued to get more of an advantage in that time and attack. So we'll have to see what happens. But overall, solid period from Lekstugan, but, you know, they're going to need to build on that. They're going to need to get a few more shots on and a bit more time on attack.
We get ready for the second period of play here. Of course, the action, as always, brought to you by our friends at Kovalan Lakritsi. Second game of 2 between Polski boys and Lekstugan. It was a 2-1 overtime win for Lekstugan in that first game. Is another save here by Lillebror. Opening play today in 15th out of 16 teams in the Elite Division. Looking to get their season back on track. One of few teams who had yet to be in double digits in terms of games played. That will change after this matchup as full pressure activated for Polski boys. Obviously, they won't be able to maintain it. That one nearly kept in. Here's Demas now stepping up. Back for Bror. Shot. Good save. Winchester held that short side well. See it from Lekstugan here. I mean, a willingness to throw pucks on nets. Worked out well for them in game 1. Good hit there. Demas. Pass off the mark. Bror gassed and has nowhere to go. JM across. Sasky wanted to go back to him. It's not there. The Bror pounces on the loose puck.
Yeah, I like the amount of passing right there from Polski boys on the entry there, but I would love to see Sasky just rip that one on, you know? Even if he doesn't try to pick the corner, just throw a shot on towards the far side. If that pad gets on, it could bounce out to either that centerman or the man on the left wing side. Oh,
that's a great chance for Sasky. Better stop, though. Lillebror continuing to stand tall. Lekstugan over the line here. It's Osplund still fighting for it. Polski boys able to take it away. Rocket out of the net drive, and again a loose puck. Covered by Lillebror. It's those types of broken plays that can give goaltenders trouble on occasion. Doesn't appear to be the case for Lillebror.
No, he is. I mean, he plays, to use, you know, a term that may not quite apply, beyond his years, essentially. I mean, he just seems like a goaltender who's been in Elite for an insane amount of time. He's just so calm in between the pipes. And like I said, his puck tracking it's extremely impressive.
And to the point. We're over to Vote. Polski boys, full pressure yet again. Can they find a way to get to a high danger area? Drive there, but a defender standing between Brokkala and Lillebror and makes it easy for the goaltender yet again.
Yeah, a few defenders right there, and Osplund, you know, for good measure, down in that LB, I guess L1 in this case, and you know, that's that play that Polski boys continue to look for there. You know, they skate it from the corner towards the behind the net and try to kick it out for that short side.
After a mistake in terms of not clearing the puck, they do get it out here. It's offside, but it does clear out the full pressure. Another opportunity for Polski boys. Still just 1 goal to show for their efforts. In terms of the action here so far, offside call. Again, coming up a little bit later on, Tunnel Vision taking on hREDS in our other spotlighted matchup. We kick off week 3 coverage of the ECL. Tomorrow, Pro Division Spotlight, and then this upcoming Wednesday. More Elite Division action for you here. 7.5 to go in the second period. Turnover, JM stepping up, can't make the inside-outside move. Demas tried to go ahead, Kiroba was there to take it away. Rokala gets a lucky bounce, backhand on, forcing the stop. Polski boys still in possession, at least momentarily. JM to the forehand, nowhere to go. Rote at the point, sends it across. Lekstugan recovering, and again, full pressure for Polski boys that they can't take advantage of. Aski to Kirwa. Movement on the outside. And broken glass on the hit. We'll see if we get another look at that one, but that's the alleviation that Lekstugan needed.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's a good cycle game by Polski boys and very much to the outside. And I think everyone's kind of waiting for them to look for that attack to the middle. A little bit of miscommunication as two players kind of went behind the net right there, and there's no pass out front.
Rokala shot, good stop. Lillebror on the blocker. Osplund. Not what he wanted with a backhand attempt. Oski into the attacking zone. Tried to go across. Kaczynarski there. Osplund, good patience. Finds Bror. Now Demas. Final minute of play here. The second period. Walk into the corner. Sent around. Polski boys in possession. Zaski's shot. Side of the cage. Kaczynarski surprised he didn't go for the Hail Mary there. 2 seconds left. That will most likely do it for the second period.
Yeah, we have seen a late second period goal in that previous one, but I doubt we will with just 2 seconds remaining. Have to be a thing of beauty for Lekstugan to pull that one off, and we won't see it right here. So 0-0 heading into the third period. This has been a low-scoring set of games, and not really what either of these teams wants or needs. I mean, Lekstugan's biggest issue this season has been goal scoring, and Polski boys, if they want to turn that negative, slightly negative, but still negative goal differential into something positive and be able to keep themselves in the playoffs, they're going to obviously need to find a little bit more offense. So I'm interested to see some of these between, the period stats. So Polski boys, I do like the rate at which they're firing that puck on. I would like to see them do a little bit more off of their offensive zone pressure. So I feel like a lot of their shots right now are coming more from the rush here. And when they do start to cycle things in, I mean, you've mentioned it a couple times, they get full pressure and then sometimes it seems like they immediately lose it right there. But, you know, no harm, no foul, so to speak. I mean, Lekstugan's just not able to establish themselves in the offensive zone, once again getting severely outplayed. But their goaltender, Lillebror, is continuing to keep them in this contest.
We get ready here, third period underway. And 3 points for a regulation win with the new point structure for this season. Look for both of these two teams to be aggressive. I mean, you could argue the benefits of getting to overtime. Chance there. When you get to overtime and at least secure 1 point, better than nothing, but that is the risk reward that we have this season as JM. Can't make the play in front of goal. Roar. Back for Demas. He'll win this foot race to the half wall. Kaczynarski back to him. Demas, hot angle shot. Winchester off guard wraparound there from Demas as well. Different looks from Lekstugan as this game's continued on. Osplund, a good outlet pass to Tiltson. Head of steam for the winger. Back to Demas. They'll find Osplin. Forehand shot. Good save. 10th shot of the game. Already more shots in this game. Brewer denied. More shots in this game than what it took to get a win last time. Great stop there by Brewer. Maybe his highest quality save of this game so far. Oski to the point. Perimeter movement again. JM trying to hold on to it and does. Brokala's shot. Save. JM a second chance. Full pressure. Tilson tries to go up ahead for Demas. It will just barely kill off that full pressure. Both they able to keep it in for Polski boys. Again, Kirawa to the corner. So again, we'll send this one around. Saski to Vote. Kirawa for Brokala. Shot. Save. Katanarski handles the rebound. Tries to bide some time. Playing fire here, perhaps. Threatening the full pressure. I was surprised to see Polski boys back up as much as they did. They were so close to full pressure.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head right there. Even a hit would, even if they didn't get possession out of it, could have gotten them towards that full pressure here.
A shot taken high. Winchester able to pin it to his chest and make the save. Freezes it. 8:23 to go in regulation. Still looking for our opening goal of this second game.
Loving the mentality for Lekstugan, though. They're really not afraid to throw really anything on net at this point.
As JM has it across, that one's in. It took an A-grade effort, and the odd angle was just enough to stop Brewer from getting to it, and Polski boys have the breakthrough. The opening goal as we get yet another look at it.
I'm actually curious. I'm almost wondering if it hit off of Brewer and in, because that angle seemed near impossible. Again, hard to see from that kind of overhead look right there. Nonetheless, I mean, huge goal for Polski boys, and you got to think, I mean, one wasn't enough last game. Yes, there's not a whole lot of time left, but I'd still like to see them press for a whole lot more.
Oski's 10th of this season for Polski boys. 6.5 minutes to go now. They have the breakthrough. Lekstugan. Back in possession. Brewer can't get it through, nor can Osplin. Goes all the way down. Now 5 minutes left in regulation. Bildson, the overtime hero from the last game. Good chance. Poked away. By Vote to be able to hold on. Here's Saski, the goal scorer. Tries to get the forehand pass back, broken up. Here was pass off the skates of a defender. They keep it alive. Katanarski battling, loses it to Saski. Polski boys killing valuable time here for the opposition, but Lekstugan in control now. Brewer over the line. Tried to find Demas. Katanarski back to him. Demas down low, slap shot from the odd angle. Good save by Winchester as we hit the final minute. Again, real time down to 30 seconds instead of the full final minute, so even less time to work with here for Lekstugan as Polski boys working that perimeter, trying to kill the clock. Pressure down low. Demas has it up ahead for Tilson. Now Brewer back to Tilson. His shot broken up. Brewer down low. Wrap around. Loose puck in front. Vote comes up with it. There's the pinch, but it misses. Breakaway for JM. And he takes it down below the goal line. Maybe felt like he didn't have the angle. That will do it, though. Polski boys bounce back from a overtime loss in game number 1 to win this one 1-0 in regulation. 3 points in the books. And the first shutout of the season for Winchester.
I mean, that could be an absolute veteran play coming out from JM. Because, again, if Brewer makes that save and they can get a quick transition, they could have potentially got a rush goal. He may have also just misclicked, and his finger could have slipped and maybe just didn't get the shot away. Nonetheless, you know, we'll give credit where we think it's due. JM's a heck of a player right there, and obviously been around the block quite a few times, been in the elite in and out of the Elite for a very long time here. But that's just a huge win on the side of Polski boys here. It wasn't a pretty series from them by any means, but it was enough in that second one to get the job done. A huge 3 points, giving them, again, 4 out of 6, which is, I think both of us are in agreement, minimum what they should have got out of, this sort of set if they're looking to try to stay in the playoff position. It's going to be a bit tough simply because of where they're kind of at in the standings and because everyone around them has so many games in hand and they're hovering around that 500 mark. But, they sometimes don't ask how, they ask just how many. And, huge win right here and 4 points out of 6.
And indeed, 4 points out of 6 there. We talked about how that was kind of the minimum that they would want to walk away with from this one. Lekstugan, 2 points out of a possible 6. Not ideal, but better than the alternative, and some of the alternatives that they faced this season over 6 nights. So we'll see what happens with these two teams as the season goes on. But now we get ready for our second matchup, and it should be a very brief break as we look to get back on track timeline-wise. It is Tunnel Vision and hREDS coming up in just a matter of moments, so stick with us here. We'll be right back after this brief break.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
All right, everybody, we are back again. A big thank you for sticking with us here. And we continue to work through some technical issues. It's been our most fun broadcast of the season in that regard so far. But regardless of that, we're ready for our second matchup, and it's a big one, as we said. Tunnel Vision taking on hREDS, their regular season matchup. Two teams, quite a bit of history.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, tons of history. Our first live finals, of course, was between these two teams when went to a crazy game 7 as well. At one point, hREDS had that 3-1 series lead, ended up going to game 7 overtime that hREDS were able to squeak out here. I mean, yeah, tons of history between these two teams, and a little bit of, chirping going on social media as well leading up to this matchup here. So you love to see that, and we'll see how it plays out in this 2-game set.
Social media side of things has been we're gonna go with feisty this year, as it is regardless. So with that, let's take a look at the standings and kind of get a look for where these two teams are. Of course, as we always mention, left hand side of the bracket is where you want to be. Our two previous games on broadcast between Polski boys and Lekstugan have been reported in. So at the moment, Polski boys sitting in 4th and Lekstugan still holding on to that 15th ranked position. But we focus on our two teams here. It is Tunnel Vision currently outright in 3rd place off of the points behind Strikers and Yippee Vaskala. Where on the other side, it's hREDS. Granted, just 10 games played, but they do find themselves in a wildly unfamiliar situation in 10th, but a great chance tonight to get back onto that left-hand side of the bracket where we're used to seeing them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I noticed that earlier because I just assumed that they were somewhere on that left-hand side. We are so busy looking at other teams, but yeah, that is a shock to see, to say the least. Of course, yes, they do have games in hand against pretty much everyone there, but that's just something that we are not accustomed to seeing. And three losses at this point, 3 regulation losses at this point in the season. That's just not something that we expect to see from hREDS.
And of course, as we get ready for the action here, we'll take a look at the team stats between these two clubs so far this season. The offensive output, I'm really saying in general, offensive and defensive, it's pretty even. Special teams, I mean, hREDS with that power play advantage, TV with the PK advantage. I mean, I think a good amount of the surprise for hREDS is you do look at it and say, okay, it's the games at hand. But at the same time, it's tough when, 2 of those games that you still have to play are against a team like Tunnel Vision. But this is a good way to kind of set that mark for just where hREDS are right now, even though the numbers still look good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then honestly, with their numbers, it surprises me that they've lost 3 times in regulation. Kind of curious to see how that happened, considering their 42 goals for, 20 against. So perhaps a bit of a false positive when it comes to their record. We should be looking at the numbers. But yeah, this is a major, major matchup here for them. And as you said, a good chance for them to sort of prove that they belong, still at the top of the mountain here. So we'll have to see just what happens.
So with that, let's get a look at the lineups for this one. So again, Tunnel Vision taking on hREDS. For Tunnel Vision, the front 3, Avatu, Kriketsi, and making his season debut, it is Pikari on that right wing side, of course, and someone that we saw a bit of a breakout from as well in the 1v1 side of things last year. I mean, you talk about Tunnel Vision being NHL 23, or NHL 23 being Tunnel Vision's year from the Versus perspective. Pikari certainly up there. Absolutely phenomenal last year. Defense, Captain Tombo alongside Wenger, and it will be Sibelius between the pipes as well. 6 games already this season. We'll get to the stats a little bit later on, but Sibe back between the pipes. On the other side for hREDS, it is Villapoika, Benito, and Mozia. Domi and Temu on defense, Finsele in goal. And let's start it off with that center matchup. It is Benito taking on Kriketsi, who, again, as we talked about, came over from Goons, had really played everywhere he needed to play or where his team needed him to play. But at this stage, he's been the main man down the middle. Strong start this season. From a points perspective, of course, not surprising to see Benito looking that much more impressive, but the face-off battle could be very close tonight.
Yeah, and I really did like Kriketsi in the matchups that we've seen him so far in the center position. I think it opened up a whole lot more for Tunnel Vision, just where he was winning some of those face-offs too. And his point production's fantastic, but Benito just continues to be an alien in the center position. I mean, 35 points in 10 games played. He somehow continues to put up more and more points every time we think he just can't get any more absurd.
Listen, as well, I had to go back and check because I was quite certain, but wasn't 100% in regards to hREDS and the offensive output. Had to double check, and a lot of their numbers. They've had some close games. They started off this season outscoring Goons 17-1 in the season opener over the course of 2 games. So
Mm.
that certainly skewed some numbers in their favor. But hey, a result is a result. Let's take a look at the winger matchup here next. Again, Vatu and the season debut for Pikari, Villapoika, and Mozia on the other side. Of course, still very bizarre to see Mozia on the other side of this matchup after the success that he had with this tunnel vision lineup. Very intrigued as well to see what Pikari can do here. Of course, Vatu's been a staple of this tunnel vision lineup for a while now and still looking incredibly strong.
Yeah, I mean, what we saw from Beaker as we covered those 1v1 finals, he might be one of the best mechanical players in the entire NHLC. And of course, as it goes for the 1v1, but some of that stuff does carry over into the sixes type thing. This is a guy who's not, no stranger to playing sixes and things like that. So curious to see how he's gonna do. And obviously no Leitonen in the lineup, but Pikari definitely not a bad guy to have filling that spot. And Villapoika, great point production out of him so far. Moja, maybe you can consider it a slower start given just the fact that Benito and Villapoika are both over 30 points. But that's a great point total for Moja so far, well over 2 points per game.
Especially too, yeah, making that switch from the center position for tunnel vision over to the wing. We take a look at the defensive matchup as again, Tombo and Wenger for the tunnel vision side of things taking on Domi and Temu. And Sin, there's a lot we could say to hype up this matchup, but simply put, four of the best defensemen that this division has to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I love about all of them, they're all so good defensively and still provide that offense. I mean, it's great to see Tombo as well, actually having more points than Wenger. If we recall, Tombo has always been kind of the more anchor point in Wenger last season, especially. He was that top defenseman, had with an absurd amount of points. And, this season they're both kind of pulling an equal amount of weight. And Domi Temu, honestly, what we considered probably the best pairing for a long, long time in this scene. They're looking extraordinarily good throughout their first iteration too. A lot more physical play coming from Tumbo and Wenger, but we'll have to see, how that's going to impact this sort of matchup here.
Of course, last but not least, the battle of the goaltenders. And Sin, it's an interesting matchup here because it's not necessarily the two that you get accustomed to seeing or that you think about with these logos, but solid performances across the board for both Sibelius and Fensere so far this season. And we'll see from here. I mean, again, what these two are able to do. I mean, again, Sibe's been off to a great start, but we know what Fensere is capable of, former goaltender of a season.
Yeah, and maybe the number's not exactly where he wants, but it's great to see Sibelius back in the blue paint here, and great numbers to show for it too. He was obviously present for the ECL finals and the World Finals in more of that coaching / support role, so him between the pipes as well. I mean, definitely a calming presence for this Tunnel Vision team who, I mean, it's great when you can quote unquote fall back on an excellent goaltender like Sibelius. We talk about these top teams and just the level of depth that they have, and very, very excited to see how he's going to do.
You have a look there. In terms of player types, pretty much what you would expect to see, so no surprises on deck in that regard. Of course, a reminder, the PlayStation Showdown signups are live right now for our Finnish audience. On the PS5 side of things, a 1v1 and a 4v4 tournament. All the details on sportsgamer.gg, so make sure to log on and, see everything that SportsGamer has to offer, but specifically, of course, the PlayStation Showdown. And there is a lot, as I got to talk about recently, of course, on the first edition of the wraparound for this season as well. Not just, of course, the Elite Division, but all of our divisions at this stage. There's been some wild results, and that will continue on, I am sure, throughout the season as we have a very, very early offside call here.
Yeah, those hRED jerseys actually kind of throwing me off a bit with the socks. The red, it honestly looks like they're wearing roller hockey pants right there.
It's a look. It's a choice. I don't know if it's their strongest look, although they might disagree if they've had, continued success in these jerseys. We'll see. Temu working with Mozia. Benito, odd angle shot. Good save there by Sibelius. That's a tricky save to make. And a craftiness is why we've seen Benito have so much success.
Yeah, especially when you're perhaps expecting that to be rung around the board. Sometimes you're going to cheat over to that right-hand side, but Sibelius didn't do anything like that. Held the post, and I think that's what hREDS may have been counting on. They're at least going to test those angles early on.
High up off the draw. Benito able to hold on to this puck. Temu can do now. D-to-D pass. Domi. Find Mozia. Gets it back. Shot. Can't get through that traffic. Good pressure here, though, by hREDS on the forecheck. They win it back. Full pressure. Villapoika's shot stopped. Pikari. Up ahead for Vatu. Golden helmet wearer, his team leading scorer. Mozia around for Domi. Look to slow it down a little bit. Poika with nowhere to go. Now Benito for Mozia. Back to the point. Temu's shot wanted a deflection. Loose puck in front. A good chance for Benito. And another early save for Sibelius.
Yeah, some early chances for hREDS in this one. Just trying to get some of that offense going again, testing that goaltender too. But I like the mentality. hREDS, the couple times we've covered them here so far, they're just really not afraid to shoot.
Poika. Able to get that one through. This one's going to go all the way back to the hREDS zone. Very strong start for hREDS, though, in this one, just in terms of the amount of zone time that they've had already. Domi trying to weave through traffic. Villapoika double team, still trying to fight for the puck. Wenger comes up with it. Ketsi for Pikari. Not much going for tunnel vision offensively in this one so far. Good job by Wenger to step up, though. Wins that puck back. Sent across and off the legs of a defender in front. The chance for Vatu. Benito, diving effort. Finds its way to Domi, who gains the line. Tried to feather one through. A tunnel vision miscommunication there. And an offside call.
Yeah, I think Pikari initially thought that one was going to come to him up the middle there, but decided to hit the man on that right-hand side instead. That will put them offside here, but important face-off. Cats can win this. They could get a quick re-entry, but good clean win from Benito.
Mozia sends this one down low. Benito tried to go in front. Wenger loses it. Villapoika and Mozia the chance. It was Mozia who got the shot on. And again, Sibelius is there.
Yeah, again, just doing what we expect Sibelius to do. He's always been a terrific goaltender and, clean movements so far throughout the blue paint. They're making yet another save here as hREDS continue to just poke and prod away at him, trying to find a gap. And Benito doing such a good job in the dot so far, wins another.
Puck behind the goal line. You're able to pick it off here for tunnel vision. Pikari to Vatu. Tried to go back to Pikari, and again, hREDS not allowing any space. Temu stepping up, tried to go across, doesn't find its intended target. They are still in possession. Temu for Benito, couldn't make that quick pass in front. Tunnel vision trying to find their offensive touch, another offside, and They clear a bit of disarray here as we kick off this first game.
Yeah, I mean, we're used to seeing teams go offside when hREDS are able to kind of set themselves up at the line, but we're not necessarily used to seeing Tunnel Vision go offside this amount of time when they're trying to gain that line. So, yeah, they definitely seem to be adjusting here as this first period goes on. I mean, the good news is still a 0-0 game here, but they don't want to keep fighting it for too long here. Now it's hREDS' turn to go offside right there. I think that was Benito there, just couldn't keep 1 foot on the other side of the blue line. But man, look at him in that face-off dot so far, 6-1.
5 shot to 0 count in hRED's favor. The win there for Kriketsi. Oh, check again. hREDS, despite some of the lineup changes, you still see that blue line trap. Domi, a sauce pass across, nearly found its intended target. Wenger. Up for Kriketsi. Bumped off the puck. All that's missing from hREDS right now is the opening goal. You see the heavy pressure here from Tunnel Vision, but they couldn't hold the zone. And really, the lack of zone time for them in this first period, I'm intrigued to see what that number's going to be.
No, yeah, especially. I mean, they've had, a couple different looks where they begin to get a cycle going, but I still think they're shotless here. That was I like that they switched to a 2-1-2 there in the forecheck. Dangerous look right there as Wenger looks like he's going for a hit and ended up in a slap shot animation.
Hikari finds his way into space. Tunnel Vision finally getting set up in the attacking zone. Kriketsi tried to force it down low. Domi's there to pick it off. Didn't get much going. Villapoika ahead of steam. Down low for Benito. Back in front. Loose puck. Hit the side of the cage. We are in the final minute. Domi, that one's towards goal. And Kriketsi tapped it back over to Sibelius, who will cover.
Yeah, just an awkward puck pickup right there. Fortunately, it didn't bounce in. We have seen that a couple times throughout the course of the last couple seasons off some of those puck pickups. But yeah, I mean, hREDS right now, while they haven't scored, they're really dictating the pace of play right now. It seems like they're getting everything that they want. Tunnel Vision has gotten nil.
Final 6 seconds. Teemu to the forehand shot. Deflects. Great stop by Sibelius. And that will do it for the first period. Essentially all hREDS, but they cannot find the breakthrough. And that has to be somewhat comforting for Tunnel Vision after a really rough opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, rough, maybe a bit of an understatement, especially considering that it is Tunnel Vision. Yes, right now, Lehtinen not in the lineup, but Pikari, an incredibly capable player here. Chemistry may be a slight issue, you could argue, but I'm with you. I'm excited to actually see the final number. Yeah, I mean, they did get over a minute, but still no shots, and hREDS had 4 minutes, 14 seconds, able to put up 7 shots here. That is just not what we expect in this matchup here, and if it keeps going this way, yes, Sibelius is a very capable and a very strong goaltender, but the chances that hREDS continue to get, one of them is going to go in eventually, and with the way they've been set up at the blue line, the way they've defended so far, Tunnel Vision will be in dire straits if hREDS are able to, score first and really start to put the clamps down defensively. So this is an important period here for Tunnel Vision. They need to just come out of the gates flying here. Yet another face-off win for Benito. What a start for him.
The second period begins. Just want to remind you, as always, the action brought to you by our friends at Kovalan Lakritsi. Is the first game of 2 in the regular season matchup between Tunnel Vision and hREDS, and it will be hREDS going to the power play very early on here in the second.
Yeah, so I believe that was also an icing, so I'm not too sure where the faceoff is going to be. Nonetheless, it's hREDS with the man advantage, and okay, just a little shove on the wall. Looks like the pass, the puck up. He didn't quite make contact with the puck or get possession of the puck, which is why that's an interference here. But important face-off, and well, if you're going to win one in that situation, that's where you want to win it. But failure to clear.
Poika couldn't hold, and there it is. Vatu is able to send it down. 30 seconds gone on the man advantage. Omi for Teemu. hREDS gain the line back. Look for that defensive switch. Teemu Shot, good save by Sibelius yet again. Puck out, Kriketzi does clear the zone. It was very close. Face off on the preferred side of the blue line for Tunnel Vision.
Yeah, you always kind of wince a little bit when you see those the change dumps, and yeah, I really thought Teemu for a second was gonna be able to keep that in, as hectic as it looked, but they weren't able to do so. But still some time left if they could get it in and set things up just offside right there. Will be 31 seconds, still a power play time. Benito, if he wins this face-off, they could set themselves up for at least one more chance here on this power play.
Face-off here. High up, hREDS in possession. Domi able to gain the line. Like in front for Benito. Sibelius able to get some good positioning there yet again as Benito tried to sneak that one 5-hole.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying what hREDS are doing offensively too. They're almost seeming like an analytical mind right now. They're testing every angle, testing everywhere to try to shoot that puck, just to try to find some kind of a gap on Sibelius. They haven't found it just yet, but we are now, 4 minutes into the second period. Tunnel Vision still has not registered a shot.
Up ahead now, Vatu trying to change that. Drops back, Tombo, the captain of this team. Wenger can't get it through. Pressure here. They do win it back. Kriketzi, and there we go. There is that first save. Benito for Moja. Moja tried to dangle through. Benito tried to go short side. Back in front. Beakery picks it off. Benito does such a good job of getting those pucks in front. Beakery. Back to Vatu. Wenger on the rollout, working with Tombo. Beakery nowhere to go, and much out of that threat. Here's Teemu now for hREDS. Benito to the point. Domi tried to go back to him. Finds its way to Benito. Moja able to make anything happen from the odd angle. Benito to Villapoica. Back again. hREDS doing a good job of keeping this puck in the attacking zone, but they are being held to the outside. Domi can't get the shot through. Benito to Villapoica, poked away by Tombo, who recovers and leads the charge for Tunnel Vision. Wenger held up a little bit. Now into the corner. Sauces one in front, and off the defender it goes in. And the worst case scenario for hREDS, as despite all of the pressure, they surrendered the first goal. Fluky or not, Wenger establishes the lead for Tunnel Vision.
Yeah, I think that was Teemu getting a little bit too deep right there. Yeah, he got the intercept. He was stopping in a good angle, and obviously it's more of an unfortunate play right there, but again, pucks towards the net, sometimes good things can happen right there. It's just a sauce pass that he did end up intercepting, but as the goaltender slid over, went off and in there. So really rough situation here for hREDS, but they've been playing so well, I don't really think this is going to phase them.
I think the way Wenger thought he'd score his first of the year, Villapoica tries to go across. And for Wenger, he is a defenseman who's been able to put up goals before. Here's Teemu, the move. He scores! Absolutely disgusting. hREDS have their breakthrough. A phenomenal goal for Teemu.
Yeah, I wonder if he took it personally the way that last one went in right there. Obviously couldn't be happy about that. Just what a play by him right there. Stripping Tombo of the puck at the opposing blue line, and then through the legs deke and beating Sibelius. What a way to tie it up right there. And hREDS looking pretty good, and now they're right back to square one. If they can continue the style of play that they have, they're still in a great position.
Third goal of the season for Teemu. Hard pressed to find one more pretty than that. We are tied at 1 apiece. Yeah, right defenseman for both sides getting the goals. Wenger for Beakery. Nowhere to go. Gets it back, though. Good patience. Vatu. The half wall. Tombo at the point. Trouble there. Pressured by Villapoica. And still now puck turned over. Bouncing around, Villapoika keeping that pressure up on Wenger. Kurketsi nowhere to go. Moja back to the point. Teemu can't get it through. Moja to Benito. Nowhere to go through the double team pressure. 2 minutes left here in the second period. Eaker, he can't break through the defense. Domi, great job to avoid the hit, but unfortunately offside there for hREDS.
Man, I mean, hREDS with another great chance, and it came from such a little play, but it made a huge difference. Villapoika, after he knocked the puck loose from Tombo, even though Tombo had the body position, Villapoika was able to get a puck chop, knocked it against the boards, and allowed his team to kind of catch up to that, and they forced yet another turnover and looked to get another scoring chance out of it. It didn't come, but those are just the little things that can mean so much in the course of a game.
Final seconds here in the second. Vatu. 5 seconds here over the line. Tunnel Vision have time. That pass doesn't find its intended target, and that will do it for the second period. A goal apiece. Somewhat of a fluky one, of course, from Wenger, and a highlight reel goal from Teemu on the other side from hREDS. Sees us tied through 40 minutes of play.
Yeah, and I'm just curious to see the stats once again, because from the eye test, if we may use that word, it's just really been all hREDS, and yes, indeed. And honestly, yeah, I wasn't too sure if it would be the 0 shots in 1 goal right there, because the initial first shot that we thought may have been a shot, I actually thought it was a pass initially that just went off of the goaltender, but I do think those are counted as shots now, if I am not mistaken. But this one right here from Teemu, just such a pretty play. Just the whole thing, forcing that turnover, the perfect deke in that situation, just completely coning the defenseman and then beating Sibelius as well here. But again, it's a tie game. First 2 periods, it doesn't matter how much they have dominated the pace of play. It doesn't matter how much zone time or how many shots that they have. Right now, the scoreline is still 1-1. Tunnel Vision's an exceedingly talented offensive force. We'll see what they do here in the third.
Quick passing play there. Wenger's shot just wide. Villapoika for Teemu, stepping up into the play yet again. Poked away by Tombo. Tunnel Vision back in control. Wenger for Pikari. Holds to the outside, back to the point. For Ketsi. Back on the backhand. Wenger's shot off the legs of the defender. Cat Pikari hanging around in front. Can't pull off the spin. Moja. Find Domi now, hREDS. For a counterattack here, Benito. Held down low. Wenger settling it down for Tunnel Vision. Wenger tries to get it over the line, and again, hREDS rolling that blue line. Hikari for Kurketsi. Vatu tried to go back across. Defense able to break it up. Teemu again stepping in. Just offside. Very, very close.
I really like that decision from Teemu there. He kind of knew he wasn't going to just straight up beat Tombo, but just goes with that speed right there, hoping that he gets that puck across the line, and then the support from the forwards would come in. He nearly got it right there. The one-touch pass, I think, by Benito down the boards to keep that one in was just a little bit offside here. But again, it's kind of turned into a bit of a chess match between these two teams.
Benito. Another face-off victory. Villapoika for Benito. Ran out of space to try short side. It's in the corner. Fighting for it here. Back to the point for Teemu. Benito tried to find Moja. Make the play. Vatu for Tunnel Vision. Back Kurketsi can't get the shot through. Down the other way we go. Benito, 4-on-2 here for hREDS. Across, and a great opportunity. Somehow did not find the back of the net. Mo's just passed to Teemu. Like it went right through his legs.
Yeah, that was bizarre. I don't think I've ever quite seen that.
Villapoika goes down. Delayed call here. Will hREDS need the power play? Teemu to Moja. Extra attackers out. Teemu at the point. Domi, good patience. Maybe too much. hREDS will have to reset in the neutral zone. And mistimed at the line. So power play coming up here. 8 minutes to go in regulation.
Yeah, second power play opportunity of the game for hREDS. They obviously weren't able to capitalize on that first one or really get the A-grade chances that they wanted to. Some good clears from tunnel vision there, but you can see the infraction. I think that's the second time Kroketsi will be sitting in the box if I'm not mistaken. Nonetheless here, huge opportunity for hREDS with 8 minutes left in the third.
Domi in control. hREDS take advantage of this power play. Domi back to Teemu. Full pressure. Benito tried to go in front. Vatu not able to clear. Great catch in center field by Domi. Teemu can't get the shot through. Wenger unable to clear. Teemu the backhand. Don't think he intended for that. It is still hREDS in control. 45 seconds left for the man advantage. Off the post. Loose puck. Out to the corner. Benito to Domi. Teemu, Moja's shot. And Sibelius makes the save. I don't know if you can get much closer than that without actually scoring.
No, and I think Villapoika's just got to be kicking himself right there. So close to getting that rebound when Sibelius was down and out. Just couldn't quite get his guy to turn and get a shot on.
Soft one by Benito, but Wenger comes up with it, clears it down, and that should do it for the power play. They're back to 5-on-5. Benito, below the goal line, rocketed pass, nobody home on the boards. Just 5 minutes left for one of these two teams to try and claim 3 points for the regulation win. Benito lofted it towards front. Villapoika across from Moja. So many plays, just one step away from finding the back of the net, but just can't complete that final step.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the story of this game, you know, for hREDS. Either they're getting, you know, their shots are getting robbed by Sibelius, or, yeah, like you said, they're just that kind of one split second or a hair away from being able to get that last pass to connect here. And nice hit right there by Moja.
Space for Benito. Sibelius stuck with him. Out of nowhere. For Benito to find that space. Has it here yet again. Shot. And not able to find the back of that or generate the rebound. Teemu there. Tombo for Wenger. Tried to go back to Tombo. Goes all the way down. 90 seconds left in regulation. Tombo will send it in, try to get it through the trap. Kroketsi wins the race. Wenger for Tombo. Final 30 seconds of real time. Peakery, the spin back in front. Couldn't complete the pass. As it ends up out of the zone. 20 seconds left. Trying to wind down the clock here. Tombo nowhere to go. Benito can't get it through. 10 seconds now. One more chance for tunnel vision. Kroketsi has it. Charges the net. And I think a stick lift there at the last second will secure both teams a point. And they'll play for the extra one in overtime. 1-1 through 60.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen kind of that almost basketball style from teams, you know, with time running out in that third period, just maintaining possession, wanting to get that last chance, that last potential shot of the game here. But with the way hREDS is playing, I don't necessarily blame Tunnel Vision for not wanting them, you know, to get another rush, to get another chance. They've been really good at generating chances. They haven't been able to find the back of the net as much as, you know, they feel like they may deserve. And I honestly can't believe it. I felt like Tunnel Vision may have gotten another couple of shots in that period, but no, still with just one shot. And, well, it's a tie game.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I mean, you know, you get credit for the one shot, the kind of fluky goal. It is what it is when you get the puck in front. I mean, you know, it's funny because we've said this about Tunnel Vision before and how they will play their style. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It was enough to earn them a point. But it took some great saves by Sibelius down the other way to hold them into this situation. It's not good enough. I mean, there's no great way to sugarcoat it. You have one shot on net. The odds that you even made it to overtime are so incredibly slim, so be thankful that you did. But especially, too, with NHL 24 and the way this game works, there is more incentive to shoot the puck now. And you have to wonder, had they done that, might they have been able to win it in overtime with some of the TOA that they had? It's been hREDS forcing the agenda here. As a result, they've seemed more likely to win, but it could be tunnel vision now stealing this game. And make no mistake about it, one shot through 60 minutes, you end up winning this in overtime, you stole the game. Puck down low here, Villapoika for Moja. Good opportunity again for hREDS. As Peekary over the line, Villapoika takes it away on the back check. Up ahead now, Domi stepping in, takes the hit from Wenger. Goes up ahead with Kriketsi. Toe drag, backhand, glove save, Finsere. What a difficult save to make in overtime when you face so little action.
Yeah, I mean, that is a massive save right there. Such a good play by Kriketsi, kind of letting everyone back off right there, including the goaltender. He had a lot of space, but good glove.
Combo for Wenger. Can't get the shot. Benito. He gathers. Villapoika down low from Moja wraparound. Sibelius makes another save. Domi at the point. Finds Moja. Tamu pinching in. Just lost it. Benito able to recover. Tamu again, full pressure here for hREDS. Tamu and Moja the switch. Domi at the point now. Benito in the corner. Good movement here from hREDS. Can they find the shooting lane that they're looking for? One timer for Domi. Moja quickly back to the point. 10 seconds left in terms of full pressure. Domi to Tamu. Shot deflects wide by Benito. Tombo able to get it to Vatu. Big hip check from Moja, wins it back. Shot, loose puck. And Tombo able to get it away from trouble. Obviously, tunnel vision gassed at this stage. Domi tried to get it right back in. Peekary fighting for it. And will drop it back. Tunnel vision surviving yet again. Tombo sends it down. Tamu quickly for Moja. Tombo pinched up. Benito for Villapoika now. Domi. Good save, Sibelius. Domi odd angle. Villapoika jamming away. Penalty called here. And tunnel vision to the power play as Domi, the one poke check too many to try and keep the play alive.
Yeah, and this is, in the past has been sort of one of his traits here. Sometimes a little bit careless with the stick right there, and not a horrible position to poke in, but the handedness of the skater right there wasn't super advantageous for him, and maybe a bit of frustration from hREDS as well from all the offense that they have been able to get. But here we go, tunnel vision power play.
Combo back to the forehand. Not able to make the play. Villapoika going to try to make something happen short-handed. Bumps him off. 7 minutes left here in the overtime. Again, just the first game of 2 between these two teams. Kriketsi. Used to seeing that for some of the builds he's run in the past, the strength that he's had. He's just thrown off the puck. hREDS are able to clear again. Space here, though. Tombo low shot. Good save by Finsere.
Yeah, I like that right there. You know, just a low shot at the very least. You know, you're gonna probably get an offense's own face-off. That's exactly what happens. But you know, he had a man cutting in towards the net and another man on the other side for potential rebounds. Another win on the face-off for Benito. He clears that down. Really, one more rush here for tunnel vision on the power play now.
Wenger over the line, loses it. Moja, trouble. Villapoika has it, can't find Domi out of the box. It is 5-on-5. Combo, shot, save Finsere. Domi able to handle the rebound. Vision finally getting some more shots. 4 minutes left. Of course, you could argue that for tunnel vision. See, we're shooting more and we still haven't won yet. Which I would say, well, keep throwing passes towards goal. Villapoika for Moja. Good move, finds Tamu, can't get through, broken up. Villapoika on the half wall. Trouble there. Domi bumped off the puck. Tamu able to recover. Vilipoika back for Domi. hREDS will reset, get some stamina back. And mistimed it at the line.
Yeah, that looked to be a really good play right there. I think Vilipoika maybe just a step or a half step off right there, but I love it. hREDS really have gotten creative with a lot of their zone entries, and it continues to work as well. You know, they've really found clean entries, and Tunnel Vision been the ones who have been more likely to dump the puck in, mostly slap shot dumps, but
Traffic there. Moja comes up with it for hREDS. Real time here. 2-on-1 developing. Vilipoika to Benito. What a save by Sibelius. Still in trouble, though. Domi at the point for Moja. Gets it to Teemu. Benito now 10 seconds left. Benito tries the shot. Moja for Vilipoika. Got Sibelius out, but nobody could get it. And will it be? Moja can't get it through. Double overtime here on a Marathon Monday to kick off week 3. Double overtime. hREDS, Tunnel Vision coming up.
yeah, I guess something that we've expected, so to speak, over the past couple seasons, especially between these two teams. And I guess not disappointed in this one either. I mean, hREDS, though. They continue to get A-grade chances. Sibelius has had a monster game here. I mean, 18 shots, 16 minutes time on attack. Tunnel Vision averaging a shot per period now at least, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, still not quite enough in my humble opinion right here, and obviously not enough to win it quite yet as we continue to go in this game here. I mean, that one right there was such a brilliant shot. Kind of got the defense crossed up right there, but a huge save by Finsete. But double overtime here, about to be underway. hREDS at this point got to be wondering what they have to sacrifice to be able to find the back of the net against Sibelius. He has just been on his game.
Ketsi in possession here, double overtime. Combo, unable to walk the line, he'll reset. We talked about it in NHL 23 was Tunnel Vision's year. Ketsi to Pickery, he scores! And 24 might be their year as well. Tunnel Vision absolutely steal one from hREDS in double overtime.
Really good zone entry there. Quick lateral passing. 4 different skaters touch that puck on the way to the net from the blue line right there, all from left to right, and it's Picari, the one who finally buries it. That's such a beautiful pass right there. I think that was Domi over there. Got, you don't want to say caught poking, but he doesn't get the intercept because he's looking for that poke check right there, which opens up the space for Picari. Finsete can't quite make that save, and Tunnel Vision, as you said, steal a game right there in overtime and secure themselves at 2 points.
First game of the season and an overtime hero. Picari secures those 2 points for Tunnel Vision. hREDS walk away with 1, and they're going to wonder how it was just 1. Again, Tunnel Vision just 1 shot in regulation. They come back and win it in double overtime. Thought we were going to get another look at the goal there. Instead, it's a man down, but here it is, the backhand that just gets past Finsete. We'll get a look here at the final numbers. We know it won't paint the prettiest of pictures, and indeed it doesn't. More than doubled up in time on attack, more than tripled up in shots on goal. Then maybe shots on goal are overrated. What do we know?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to kind of make a comment. Like, it seemed like one team was playing NHL 23 and one team was playing NHL 24. And, well, surprise, surprise, the team that dominated NHL 23 did come away with the win at the end of the day. But, again, can they continue to count on Sibelius to have that sort of performance against hREDS? I mean, yeah, you can count on Sibelius to have that kind of performance, but you got to think at times hREDS was a little snake bitten. You know, some of the saves that Sibelius would made, we'd seen just go in despite position as well. So we'll have to see what happens here in this second game. If hREDS are able to play the same way that they did in that first, it's going to be hard to think that Tunnel Vision could come away with another win, but crazier things have happened.
So with that first game in the books, we still have 1 more to go between these 2 teams. Stick with us. We'll be right back for game number 2.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
All right, everybody, we are back. Again, a big thank you for sticking with us here. We get ready now for our fourth and final game of the broadcast, the second matchup between Tunnel Vision and hREDS, as the first game ends in double overtime, a 2-1 win for Tunnel Vision. As unlikely as it was, can't help but wonder what we're going to see in this one, because we know from Tunnel Vision they're just going to stick to it. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's the style that won them so many games in NHL 23, and it worked out there. You had to rely on Sibelius to make some big saves. We'll see if he can do it again. He's been great so far this season. We'll see if, in fact, it happens on the other side. As tomorrow, by the way, our Pro Division coverage, Vizio taking on Gotham Knights, and Purification against the team with the greatest logo in all of the ECL.
Yes.
Valko, as Sin and Lime will be on the call for that one.
Yeah, I lose it every time I see that logo. I don't even know what it's from, but it is one of the funniest things that I've ever seen. But yeah, I mean, back to the games at hand here. We were both kind of surprised to see Tunnel Vision kind of come away with the win right there. Yes, Sibelius played great, but I mean, the chances that hREDS were getting, and it just seemed like Tunnel Vision was very content with just, collapsing and giving them the perimeter here. I don't know if it'll work in this one, but you said it. I don't think Tunnel Vision is going to really divert from that strategy.
Chance early on, they score! Well, continuing the trend of one shot, one goal, and picking up where he left off, Pikari has another one 55 seconds into the game.
Wow, just right off of the zone entry. That was really a thing of beauty right here. That's hREDS blue line. And Tunnel Vision just waltzed right through. Again, something that you don't often see, but beautiful work by them. Controlled entry in less than a minute in. They get the first one of this game here. And it's got to feel bad for hREDS here, who now they have to play catch up despite, getting the better of the play in the last one, only coming away with the 1 point.
Wake up. Get that shot through. And Sin, you kind of alluded towards the idea of Tunnel Vision defensively just being willing to collapse. There was a patch, of course, for the gameplay updates, and you have to wonder if the gameplay is a little bit closer to what we had seen last year. Big stop there by Finsere. And if the gameplay is closer to last year, obviously that benefits a team like Tunnel Vision.
Oh, yeah, 100%. We saw teams getting punished for collapsing, and, as we saw in that last one, yes, they allowed shots, and yes, they gave up zone time, but they weren't super punished.
Full pressure here. Koketsi shot scores! It's Vatu on the rebound. Tunnel Vision double it up 2-0, less than 4 minutes into the game.
I mean, they got that full pressure, wasted no time right there. Brilliant shot by Wenger right there, low on the net, and Vatu finding the rebound right on the back door. I mean, a perfect bounce off that rebound, but it starts with the shot right there. Just a beautiful work by Wenger to find that lane and place that one perfectly off the pad of Finsere. And from bad to worse from hREDS, plenty of time, but considering they only scored 1 on Sibelius in the last game, they got to get to work quick.
What a start here for Tunnel Vision in this one. Already as many goals in this game as they scored in the entirety of last game, and it ended in double overtime. Wenger down low, Koketsi couldn't make the play. Tombo picks it off. Gets a shot on there, paddled away. I'm very surprised to have seen that one go through.
Yeah, I think that was a saucer pass down low that somehow, I think, nutmegged a couple different people right through the legs. Speaking of interesting situations, a poke right on goal. Sibelius has to swallow that one up for a face-off.
Those little chances, you just never know how dangerous they're going to be. Stop there by Sibelius. Off the face-off, of course, it was hREDS. 19-10, I believe, was the final count for Benito on the draw. We did see Koketsi kind of work his way into the game. Villapoika can't get the backhand off. Koketsi now takes it ahead. They're onside. Wenger tried to draw back. Nobody home. Villapoika for Benito. Benito for Domi. Could have picked the corner in front. They score. Then I'm not quite sure how Benito found that one, but right place, right time, as he so often finds himself in. And hREDS are on the board.
Yeah, it was a really good job by Vatu there to get in that shooting lane. I think it went off the inside of his leg, then bounced to Benito. We'll get a better look here. What a play by Benito there to dodge that hit. Domi takes the shot, and yeah, just off the leg of Vatu, bounces to Benito's stick. So they're the beneficiaries of a bounce here, and they cut that lead in half. That was an aggressive step up by Tumbo at the line right there, and Benito just with a brilliant dodge that started that whole play right there. Another shot block, and here comes numbers.
3-on-1, Pikari, the rocket pass into the pads of Finsere, who's able to make the stop.
And probably fortunate that it went into his pads and not onto one of his defender's sticks, because it always seems like a chance of an own goal gets heightened at that point.
Poika loses it to Pikari, the shot just wide. Vilipoika up ahead for Benito. Back to Vilipoika. Tries the move through the defense. Wenger has trouble here through the pressure. Now up ahead, they're on side. Teemu. Back to Moja. Now Benito. Over the blue line. Backhand that goes all through the crease, out to the other side. Benito, good movement in front. Vilipoika, good stop there. This has been a lot more of a free-flowing game so far to kick this off. Kriketzi's shot block. Onto a cross, they score! Tremendous vision from Vatu. Wenger in perfect position on his own. Perfect placement on the shot. Sim, we're seeing a completely different game here. I'm caught off guard.
I am too, and I want to get another look at this. I thought, yeah, it looked like for a split second, Teemu went down into an L1 and then released, and the second he released is when that pass came off. Domi was near the recipient of the pass, but good enough position, I guess, for Pikari to be able to bat that one in, and 3-1 now for Tunnel Vision.
I mean, again, we saw just 3 goals combined in the last game. Good chance there, stopped by Sibelius. Still 5 minutes left in this period.
Yeah, 3 goals combined in the 5 periods of play. Now we got 4 combined in just the first 15 minutes of this game here, and surprisingly, maybe hREDS find themselves on the downside, but again, Tunnel Vision have done a really good job of their zone entries have been clean, and then they're really wasting no time getting that puck to the net and finding shots.
Wenger over the line. Down low for Vatu. Loose puck, bouncing around. Vatu again. Finds Pikari down low. Kriketzi tried the short side. Benito for Vilipoika. Taken away by the defense. Tombo stepping up big. Head of steam here for the captain. Feed in front. Vatu the backhand. Stopped by Finsere. Final 90 seconds. Vatu down low. Domi takes it away. Vilipoika. It's knocked down. Good job by Benito to seal off the boards. Back to Teemu. Final 20 seconds of the period. Teemu to the forehand. Domi back to Benito in front, taken away by Tombo. He'll look to kill the clock, and he does. A wild first period, 3-1 the score, as Wigetta looks in at the opening goal that came just 55 seconds into the period.
Yeah, I think the first 2 shots that Tunnel Vision had went in the back of the net, and I think it was that third one, which was the rebound goal. I could be getting them a bit mixed up right here, and I think I actually might be, but nonetheless, I mean, it's just been an insane pace of play in that first period, and goals aplenty, and you know, more favorable bounces for really for both of those teams, and that kind of led to, you know, some more kind of a more free flowing feel, as you put it there in that first period, and that is just such a beautiful play off that opening faceoff. We're going to get a look at Vatu's goal right now. I love that decision-making from Wenger. Just comes off the board, just a simple wrist shot on. Doesn't wind up into a slap shot, which allows people to get into position for that block. Doesn't just rip it off the boards. Changes the angle to make sure that that rebound will be in great position for Vatu to pick up. Those are just the little things that you have to do as a point guy to create the offense. And Tunnel Vision's done a good job of that here. So second period underway here. 2-goal lead for Tunnel Vision. hREDS need a response, and they need it pretty here because Tunnel Vision's offense has been on point.
Always the action brought to you by our friends at Kovalon Lakritsi. And Benito gets hREDS back to within 1. We saw a bizarre goal to kick off last game, and now we see a bizarre goal here, as the replay is apparently going to Tombo, who gets credited for the own goal. Shade being thrown by the replay there.
Oh,
as we get another look at it, 1 minute into the second period.
Yeah, Benito just shot it from a crazy angle, and Sibelius went down to the splits, and then, yeah, Tombo's puck pickup ended up in the back of the net. That okay, that's weird, and it happened, but 1 goal came now.
Etsy, good movement here from Tunnel Vision. We'll see what their response is. They've had 2 different 2-goal leads that have been reduced down to 1, but have yet to surrender a tying goal. Benito, credit now for 2 goals in this game. Emu can't get the shot through. Brings Benito, if I'm not mistaken, up to, would it be 15 goals on the year? Emu, the lone goal in the last game. This has been a bizarre and unpredictable game, to say the least. As if the last one wasn't. Here's Vatu and Kriketsi. Can't tuck it on the far side. Pikari, good patience. Combo, one-timer, they score! An absolute bomb of a shot from Kriketsi. And for the 3rd time, Tunnel Vision lose the 2-goal lead, but get it back. It's 4-2.
That was something that you don't expect from hREDS, a little bit of blown coverage. Too many men went down low, and then you look at them. They had 4 guys below the hash mark, and then when they went to kind of reset and pull out of that, I mean, Tunnel Vision was in almost an umbrella setup right there. It looked like a power play because hREDS simply wasn't on their coverage, and that's kind of been a little bit of the story throughout this game right now. I'm starting to think maybe that last game put a little bit of tilt in them. They're coming back the other way.
Trying to get it back in front, knocked loose. Mozia. Temu back to the forehand. Taking his time, finds Benito, bumped by Vatu. Wenger looking to step up. They do time it at the line. Well done. Pikari, low shot. Good stop by Fincere. Benito finds Villapoica, back to him. He scores! A hat trick for the captain, and yet again, the lead is down to 1. What is this game? Who are these 2 teams compared to what we saw in the last one?
Yeah. I mean, in the last one, Sibelius makes that save 100%. And again, he's in great position right there. It just seems like this game just is on a completely another level. 7 combined goals now, halfway through the contest. And yes, once again, it's just a 1-goal game. And here come Tunnel Vision.
Make it 16 goals in 12 games for the captain of hREDS. Tunnel Vision again looking to reestablish a 2-goal lead. It's happened 3 times already. Can they make it 4? Kriketsi for Vatu. Low shot, the rebound just out of range of Kriketsi. One back, Vatu looking, shot, bouncing around. Fincere makes the save on the secondary opportunity.
Yeah, an awkward bounce off that first shot, but Pikari coming in, he got a good bit of that secondary opportunity. The puck was bouncing though, so not as much on that shot as he would have wanted. Probably not the aim either, but good job by Fincere in his recovery to be in position to swallow that one up.
Vatu for Pikari, great glove save by Fincere. He pounced on that one, maybe his best save of the game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say Tunnel Vision not hesitating to shoot in this one whatsoever, and they're finding the passing lanes that they want to, which is, again, a huge departure from the last game. They simply weren't finding it. Now they have full pressure.
Combo back to the forehand. Wenger. Pikari, low shot, big rebound, but Mosia's there to recover. Loses it for the moment. Trouble, bouncing puck. Kriketsi. Back to the forehand. D-to-D pass. Final few seconds. Wenger. Pinching in. Combo at the point. Looking. Pikari to Kriketsi. Shot glove save by Fincere. And hREDS survive that full pressure threat.
Yeah, I don't mind that shot right there from Kriketsi. Yeah, maybe the angle's not great, but they were running out of that full pressure. You still want to rip that on while you have that effect in there. You never know. You could be able to pick that corner.
hREDS trying to get a breakout going. Vatu now down the other way for Tunnel Vision. Kriketsi. The pass off. They might look for another low shot and a rebound. Benito. He's still recovering from the effects of the run of play. Omi for Teemu. The point, Benito. Over to Domi. Back, Benito. Villapoica, that one doesn't go. May have deflected off of something. The side of the net looked open. Final 30 seconds. Tombo on the forehand. Tried to get it in front. Domi, trouble with Pikari. Pikari bumped off. Loose puck in front. What a chance. As hREDS will kill the clock. A wild 40 minutes in the books. We still have at least one period to go. A 4-3 lead for Tunnel Vision.
Yeah, wild is honestly an understatement at this point. It just seems like the puck's a hot potato. I mean, last game, it was just such a controlled pace of play. Puck possession heavy. Again, felt like we stepped into a time machine back into NHL 23, and then this one has just been probably one of the more chaotic games we've seen through all of NHL 24, and definitely not something that we expected after that first game. But again, credit where it's due. Tunnel Vision really, really responding in a huge way after picking up that overtime win and really not shooting the puck a whole heck of a lot. They got the early goal, and maybe that was part of it. Maybe they just kind of brought hREDS out of their, their blue line stand and some of their defensive coverage. But that one in particular, I mean, that's such a high percentage area that you don't want to leave a shooter alone in. And I'm just so surprised that there was no hREDS skater anywhere close. And that one-timer just was able to get blasted home right here. So to see if hREDS is going to be able to clean up some of that coverage. But even if they do, with the way this game has gone, we have seen some wild bounces happen, some great shots, and some passes making it through that maybe you don't expect to make through. So, well, hold on to your butts, as they say. Third period underway.
A backhand on, played by the paddle of Finsere. Again, it was a 2-1 victory in double overtime in game number 1 for Tunnel Vision. They've secured 2 points already tonight. hREDS with just 1. Should the scoreline somehow hold, it would be 3 points for a regulation win for Tunnel Vision. As Benito tries to drive the hat-trick hero for hREDS, keeping them in this game. Has it yet again. Up ahead now, Villapoica. Drop pass, caught everybody off guard. Teemu finds Benito, though. Moja, cross shot from Domi, and Sibelius makes the save. Really good placement, but the rebound control for Sibelius on display.
Yeah, and once again, Villapoica feeling probably a little bit robbed. He has been just inches away multiple times from being able to just batter a rebound home, and once again, snake bitten on that one.
Benito, it's down low. Domi, shot glove save by Sibelius. Netminder being tested here in the early stages of the third.
Close one right there, but Sibelius didn't panic move back to the right. If he did, that is a tying goal right there.
Big face off here, won by Kriketsi. Sends it around, gonna go all the way around. hREDS will recover. They move for Domi, back to Villapoica. Hikari can't get the pass ahead. Moja takes the hit. hREDS trying to keep that pressure on. Wenger clears the zone. Kriketsi up ahead has it poked away. Wenger again keeping it alive. Batu scores! Quick hands. Put Tunnel Vision back up by 2 as Vatu strikes. Ooh, 5-hole there on Vinseri as well. What a goal.
That was beautiful from Vatu. I mean, the delay it's such a small delay, and he realizes, oh, no one at the back door. Okay, I'll just take this myself. Goes backhand and just puts it home on the 5-hole. And, well, stop me if you've heard this before. A 2-goal lead once again for Tunnel Vision.
12 minutes left in regulation. We called it a heavyweight tilt. This game's, it's had that craziness factor that we were thinking a matchup between these two might have. We're still far from done. 10.5 minutes to go. Let's see if hREDS can find the response. Glove save. Sibelius robbing Domi, who had the room to shoot.
Absolutely, and there's room for that puck to find its way home on the far side, but Sibelius flashes the leather, getting another huge stop when his team needs him.
Off the face-off, Moja tries to get it back in front. Benito able to recover. Pressure there, though. Poke check. Back alive. Benito in front. Doesn't find its way to Villapoica. Peekary has a little bit of trouble. Benito gets it back. Villapoica's shot stopped. Full pressure for hREDS. Teemu. Back down low for Benito, and again to the point. D-to-D pass, and again one-timer off the stick. It actually broke the stick of Vatu. Domi for Benito. Domi again, the shot deflects just wide. 5 seconds left of pressure. Domi down low for Benito. Back to the point. Teemu looking, couldn't find Moja, and the puck is cleared. Great job by Tunnel Vision. Does go down for icing, though. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it did.
Yeah, the way it was so slow. I was kind of half expecting it not to be icing here, but it indeed is. They did get some stamina back, so they're not going to be at a complete disadvantage, and that pressure meter is just completely empty.
Off the face-off, Vatu. Able to get the clearance. hREDS running out of time here. You can see the pressure. Tunnel Vision trying to secure what would be 5 out of 6 possible points in this matchup. As the puck turned over, motion to Benito, tries to sweep it home. Sibelius makes another big set of saves.
You know, he has let in 3 goals in this one. hREDS isn't shooting at the same volume that they did in the last game, but some of these saves, particularly in this third period, have been absolutely massive.
D pass, and again, Domi turns it over to Koketsi. Now Peekary trying to work his way through. Has it again. Peekary still moving. Has it down low. Hands off for Vatu. Combo to Peekary. Saved by Finsere, who plays it out. hREDS know they're running out of time. Villapoica. Domi tries to go in front. Benito off the back of the cage. Vatu up ahead for Peekary. Now Wenger. He's got full stamina. Drops back. Koketsi to Peekary. Shot from Wenger. Stopped by Finsere. As the confidence oozing from Tunnel Vision right now. You can tell just how good they're feeling at this moment.
Yeah, time and attack relatively even, but Tunnel Vision getting a lot more shots in this one, a lot more great chances too, and it's just a real-time 30 seconds here, so hREDS really up against the wall. What a hit.
I mean, literally off of that. 25 seconds left. Can hREDS pull off a miracle, or will it be the double for Tunnel Vision over one of their greatest rivals? As Vatu sweeps this away, throws it across, Teemu picks it off, and indeed, it ends up being a very solid night for Tunnel Vision. 3 points here for this win. 5 out of 6 points on the night as they look to keep pace with the best teams in this division, Jyväskylä and Strikers. They know that Tunnel Vision are still a massive, massive threat this season.
Yeah, that was a night and day difference between those two games, and not only just in how the games felt, but a night and day difference in just how Tunnel Vision played. I mean, it's just, I think we spent the whole pregame saying, like, yeah, you know, they're just the type of team. They have their strategy. They're likely going to stick to it. And maybe they kind of did. Maybe they're just able to find that more space, but really seemed like they weren't too happy with the way they got outplayed on the scoreboard. Not too happy with, you know, only picking up 2 points from an overtime win. They came out firing on all cylinders from opening puck drop. Shows on the scoreboard, and, well, they end with the 2-goal lead. As they started off, they secured multiple 2-goal leads in that game, but just kind of a bizarre turn of events in that one. I don't really know how else to put it. That was just such a weird game at so many points. Exciting as heck, but at times it just felt completely unhinged, and Tunnel Vision somehow, despite being severely outplayed there in that first game, come away with 5 out of 6 points in this matchup. hREDS only coming away with 1, and that to me is really the thing that surprises me in this matchup, that they didn't somehow split this set.
I mean, they did so well in that first game, but didn't get the result. And like you said, you don't know if you can necessarily call them rattled, but they did get caught early on twice in this game. So they were playing from behind the 8 ball all game long. Very difficult spot to be in against a team like Tunnel Vision to be able to try to battle back. And indeed, they could not do so in this one. Some wild goals, to say the least. Benito, the lone goal scorer for hREDS, and it puts the pressure on hREDS now moving forward in the back half of their season. They need to keep getting some results, especially against teams that might be on the outside looking in playoff wise, as a lot of their numbers are still boosted by that season opening series. Aside from that, it's been a lot of close games, quite a few 1-goal games, and we'll see what hREDS can do down the back half. But Tunnel Vision, what a bounce back performance that they needed. You know, you steal game 1, but they absolutely won game 2. No denying about that. They played a great, great game. And as a result, like you said, 5 out of 6 points on the night. And a big result for them as they look to keep pace with the likes of Strikers and Yipi Vaskala at the top of the standings.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's really going to shock most people out there is that's now hRED's 4th regulation loss of this season. And, another OT loss to boot, just getting 1 point out of that matchup. A matchup where, in the past, you expect them to at least probably get a win, if not maybe at times 2, or at least get, 2 out of 4 points in that previous format. But just getting 1 out of 6, I think, is hugely surprising. And coupled with where they sit in the standings, I hope maybe we could take a look at it. Maybe not all the games will be reported after that, but again, they find themselves on the wrong side of the standings. Yes, still games in hand, but again, something that I'm going to just say again because it shocks me so much, 4 regulation losses at this stage in the season, as I believe that was just their 12th game played. I mean, we have seen them go towards 20 plus games without even having a loss at times, much less a regulation loss. And just a wild start to the season in so many regards here when it comes to those standings, but particularly in hREDS, who, haven't quite adjusted to this, perhaps the new game. I don't know. It's hard to say, again, because I felt like they were so good in that first game and then just a couple missed assignments in this second one. And you said it, they were just behind the 8 ball the whole time.
Between that, not having Nikki Dangles for at least the start of the season, if not the entirety of the season, due to the mandatory military service, of course, life comes at you fast in the elite division, as we have learned over the last couple of years. And indeed, now it's a big adjustment period for hREDS moving forward. But with that, everybody, that brings this broadcast to a close. We thank you, of course, for joining us. A reminder, Pro Division in the spotlight tomorrow. It'll be Sin and King Liam on the call as Vizio take on Gotham Knights and Purification take on Valco. Especially Gotham Knights, Purification, strong starts to their season. Teams to watch out for that could very well find themselves in the Elite Division next season. And of course, Sin and I will be back as well on Wednesday for more Elite Division coverage. So make sure to tune in then on this upcoming Wednesday as we continue on with week 3 action. For now, though, for Sin, for all of us who, help try to make these broadcasts what they are, we thank you for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow for our Pro Division Spotlight.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.